Welcome back to the Unfortunate Sons, Session 29, A Rest and a Fresh Outlook. Last time we left off, this party had been going on about 6 months ago, with the party having... God, now I gotta really remember, where did you guys leave off? Holy hell.
Right outside the tomb.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, and that call... Wait, do we have? God, I don't. Now I'm trying to recall. It feels like it's been forever since we had our session. Give me a minute.
If you need, I can go through my notes.
Oh no, give me a. I mean, feel free. I'm just trying to spark my head. What was the big thing from last session? Because I don't recall anything.
We were in the tomb. The giant, the forest giant attacked us.
That's where we picked up. Okay.
Second, we had the thing with Zebril. All of that happened in one session.
Yes,
Eider and I almost fucking died.
Because I think we ended session with you guys heading back to town, right? That was the end of it?
We, just ended outside the tomb after the last fight, yeah.
Yep, because that fight was sort of... Okay, now I remember. Okay, alright, want to make sure. Alright, yeah, so as we last stuffed off, the party having managed to figure out the tomb's secrets and supposedly grabbing up the item that they had been looking for. The party starting at the end of session, starting back into the session inside the tomb, getting ready to do a little bit further exploration before rudely being interrupted by the forest giant that had claimed to be, or to state that he was daddy and he was home. As the party got themselves unfortunately locked in an awkward hallway that led to Ned being turned into a shish kebab by three ice demons, and Kezanok being grappled by a fourth. The party managed to barely hold their own, with Eider figuring out the forest giant even had the ability to use, or at least absorb, spellfire. With the party managing to hold their own at the desperation that they could, a little bit of quick thinking and some decision on some gassing, the party decided to take the Zilpip bomb and toss it towards the forest giant himself, deciding that it was more worth it to see what would happen and hopefully kill the creature. Unfortunately for poor Patter II and his dog, Patter II had decided to head down into the gas, getting himself unfortunately caught and killed before he could escape it. The forest giant, apparently trying to escape it and running back towards the door, managed to find out that the tomb had been sealed and the party really had no chance of escaping. Though, with a quick change of plan and the forest giant at least dealt with, the party quickly turned their attention towards the ice demons, managing to cut them down one after another, with a pretty decent run-through between Dom and Eider, ending with Eider blasting fire from Kesnunok's crotch like a glowing dragon that he is, apparently. Just burning away the ice demons as they did. With the party managing to defeat the creatures, they managed to find themselves teleported outside of the dungeon itself, escaping quite quickly before the gas could take them. Though not to their own intention, of course, as the party found themselves teleporting outside of the dungeon, or the tomb itself. One of the Chastins, I don't know at this point, there were so many, managing to instead be switched place with his master, Lord Zebril himself. As the party kind of watched on with this, or came to this realization that the doors would be cracked open, Chastophocles, yes, that's it. One of them. The door to the tomb, unfortunately, would be blown open with this forest giant coming out and continuing his assault, even managing to raise Patter II against the party and attack. With a little bit of assistance and some quick thinking, though the party did, I believe, have one of their members go down. Poor Ned, who again got just the crap knocked out of him every time. With the quick thinking, the party did finally manage to take down not only the forest giant, but the last, I believe, ice demon and Patter II. Managing to keep the dog alive, though the dog of Patter II would take the body and run off, vanishing into the forest. The party would then spend the rest of the time gathering their thoughts, and as we came to an end for session, with the plan to take about 6 months of downtime, they would spend the next week looting through the tomb together as they did, unfortunately never finding that treasure trove room once again of that Pater II had. But managing to gain a little bit of loot as they did, having been sent it. The party then, kind of catching a ride with Bargis and Zebril, returning back to his hive, decided to head back towards King's End. Following a bit of downtime, the party would find themselves splitting up and relaxing. Kesdenok working amongst the town, continuing to spread his message of El Ugbo and root out any potential Lithotara followers within the town that could pose a threat to the group. Dom doing a bit of research as well as training during the downtime. Eider spending most of his time away from the party and seemingly amongst the smiths, vanishing for weeks on time. And Ned going about as well, gathering information, learning, and reading as he could, spending a lot of time out in the forest, only to return with a massive white snake with little blue snowflakes kind of dotted throughout its stomach, or its scales. As the party finally returns post 6 months break, the day is the morning of the 22nd of the Forgotten, or October. The year is still 65,009. Yes, we are still at least 6 months behind the rest of the other two parties as we return. You lot having managed to gain and put together a huge amount of stuff together as you managed to kind of come together finally with the information you've had, making yourselves pretty well known in the city of King's End at this point. Og meeting with many of you regularly, guards kind of getting to know you, many of the merchants now recognizing you lot as almost a main staple of this town. The small church that Kesdenok has now had reinforced into a full stone building is now become a bit more of a hot spot for travelers that seem to be passing by, though as during those 6 months you all have also noticed the increase in amount of multiple different types of giants. Some ranging from all the way from Eldritch to Mountain, Bog, even Forest giants are starting to pick up in numbers. That camp that seemed to be out there 6 months ago, seemingly growing larger and larger as it began to pack up and head its way west. You lot find yourselves now coming back together. The day is quite just starting. The cold breeze on the air is a nice chilly negative 15 this morning. An icy rain kind of dots the skies with dark black clouds as you lot gather together in the bottom in the basement of the church. Now turned into a sort of semi-living quarters for you lot that you kind of split with Kez whenever you are looking not to pay for rooms at the inn. The grave outside Domnander for your father having been made by Kez, and he has been kind of sanctified and put within a guarded grave on the grounds now. As you lot come together in this basement, a couple large ale or barrels of what smells like whiskey, kind of already aging. As you lot start to enjoy yourselves some hardtack and some dried meat for breakfast. The notable sermon that usually goes on, canceled already today by Kez as he busies himself going about getting the church kind of ready and organized for the coming missions, as he expects to be leaving here at some point and looking to someone to take over.
All right, we got some time to kill.
And as you see Eider, I will mention. Actually, you know what? We're actually gonna go a little something now, a little less traditional. I do apologize for interrupting here again. But since some of you do look a little different, and I think because Ned, you didn't do any new items, correct, during your downtime?
Correct. Just the animal companion.
Just the animal companion, yes. And Eider's new armor that he is wearing. And Dom, I don't think you had anything you were doing other than buying a couple items, right?
I did my feat training, my research, and my items, so I shouldn't have anything drastic appearance-wise.
Okay. Eider, would you like to kind of describe your armor, real quick for what they see now, seeing you? Because I imagine you're wearing it 24/7.
Yeah. I do like inside of the confines of the church, or like whenever I'm like relaxing, I just am in the armor. Outside though, like going around the street, generally I'll keep a lower profile. I wear my fabulous purple suit to disguise it, make myself a little bit less of a target. In one instance, the purple suit is effectively just a very grandiose, very well tailored, sort of almost modern style of suit. Long sort of purple coattails, the full cummerbund, very strapped up and ready for business. That won't happen for a few thousand years. In the case of the armor, though, it's very, very, very different. The armor itself emits a glow all of its own. That was already present in the gauntlets that Eider had beforehand, and is strapped together with an understructure of like that same material. The overstructure is made out of scales of dragons, specifically like dull dark green scales. If you ever asked about it, I simply tell you it was adamantine dragon scales that have been put together over the top of this and like create like a very hulking outline with massive rivets. The weight of the armor is impressive. It is much thicker and larger in scale than normal plate mail, even to like a casual observer. The helmet itself actually looks like not unlike the actual dragon it comes from.
I will note, as for those the rest of you, Eider seems to change between these looks almost immediately, as if by magic enchant that you kind of catch on to upon leaving the church, and whenever he's not, or in the viewing of anyone other than you, just you lot, it seems that this armor vanishes to show him more in this suit-like attire, almost giving the professional merchant look to him. Though I will mention his normal now professional merchant attire that he has gained does seem to go over the armor and almost encompass it, as you notice, and makes him look almost 3 or twice as big as he normally is, making the armor look like it's natural flesh to his body. Basically bulking him up, if you're familiar with Kingpin. But as you lot sit there, Ned now having the large snake around him, Hootie nowhere to have been seen in the last couple of months, as you with his new large snake that seems to kind of wrap itself almost comfortably around Ned at all times, like a belt or like a sash across his chest.
Seems you two have been busy in acquiring new things.
Yeah. Hey, Ned, we both got new friends.
I see that. I like your coat.
The coat or the armor? Because the armor's alive.
Well, yes.
At the mention that make the entire armor kind of lightly ripples around on the body.
Is this part of this soul type magic you use, or some other crafting trick? As Dom kind of like looks it over, can I make some kind of roll just to like figure out if I can understand it?
What are you trying to understand about the armor?
Just like get a gist of like in what sense it's alive. Is it a full sentience? Is it just like
give me a survival check.
Some level of awareness. Yeah, I'm trying to be like how alive is alive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because historically, it looks down at Dom's belt,
to Dom's own knowledge, and to Ned's own knowledge, Eider did disappear for about 2 whole months entirely, not returning home.
Yeah.
back to the church. Now, he did mention he was taking a trip, and did just as far as it goes. So you knew he was going to be away, and how long. He just, there was no clarity, I imagine, to what he was doing as he came back suddenly with this armor. What'd you get,
I got for survival a 14. Not very high.
From what it looks like, Dom, this armor seems to be moving about a little bit. As Eider breathes, you do see that the armor seems to expand, but there is a second breath. It seems that the armor itself is fully alive, almost as if it's a fully sentient creature.
Hmm. I think Dom's eyes just like slightly narrow as he looks at it, and he's not like upset or angry or aggressive. He's just like kind of sizing, just like looking at it. He's just watching it. He's observing.
I will say, Dom, the only thing to note is that there does not seem to be any soul within the item.
Okay, so like alive but not alive, seemingly. Interesting.
Don't worry, I did not in any way, shape, or form ask Kez's opinion of this.
No, I think the part of Dom is like I think part of Dom is sitting there being like, how is Kez going to process this when he gets back? Well, not my problem. What's the name of your new friend there, Ned? And I think Dom kind of like looks at the snake.
Yeah,
Seems pretty chill with it.
It is a beautiful large serpent. If you want to kind of describe it, Ned.
Yeah, let me get back to that. Do. So it is a large viper snake. It is snow white in color, about 16 foot long. Every 4 foot up its scales. Some of the scales are a light blue color. They kind of form the shape of snowflakes. And as you look into its eyes, it's the color of sapphire.
Do I recognize this kind of snake at all, DM? Like if it's actually venomous or not?
With your survival check from earlier, this creature does not look like it's native to this continent naturally. Also, it's very well behaved as it seems to just kind of rest its head up on Ned's shoulder as it lightly wraps itself around him. This creature seems to be very well domesticated, surprisingly. Either it's extremely intelligent or there's something more to it.
Is this friend of yours, Ned, intelligent in the way Hootie is, or simply a companion?
I mean, Hootie was an animal companion, and Ice here is an animal companion, so...
Do you think if your friend here is venomous and it would not be of opposition to you or her, I would love to sometime perhaps collect some venom for use. It would be nice to have a willing animal on hand to collect it versus having to hunt something.
I'm sure we can figure something out. I mean, it's not the most dangerous or potent poison, but...
That is a perfect starting base to experiment with. And kind of just gives like a respectful nod to Ned and to the snake. What is it? Still a nod to the snake.
That's okay. Either that's suspicious.
Hence
okay.
why I didn't word it like that. Let it be known.
As the snake kind of seems to lazily open its eyes, as you seem to kind of mention it, Dom, looking over at it, the creature kind of lightly seems to push its body more over towards Ned and lightly rub its face up against Ned as it kind of rolls itself off of him, slowly pulling itself down. As it untangles and kind of lays on the floor and just kind of rolls up into a ball once more.
As for your statement earlier, Aiter, about needing to stay busy, I think I will say, unless you're opposed, DM, that Dom has taken copies of the quest board quests to
Yeah.
bring to the group, and so he just kind of takes them out of his new snazzy bag of holding. Guys, I was productive too. I got a couple of things.
Hell
He
yeah.
also has a brand new sling, well-designed sling on his side, so Eider might have seen him around the like smithies and weaponsmiths in town. He places like them down in order in the chat. Some of these might require a little bit more prep work. This walking iceberg quest seems like something we should scout before we dive in. Some of these seem a little bit messy. And he gestures to like the Crump family quest, in regards to things that require perhaps more delicate touch. I also, in my personal time, I have discovered a village on the outskirts of, and Dom will like lean in to kind of lower his voice because we, never know. Oat followers, they are posed as a fishing village. There's been suspicious amounts of shipments of papyrus and paper and ink, and I did sense undead in that area. So, if we have nothing else to do, I would like to further investigate what they're up to. And then he'll kind of just like lean back.
I don't disagree, but from my knowledge, Kez seems to be a bit preoccupied. I like look up and like imagine just like stumbling around, like swearing, he's like, "Ah!"
Yeah, as you see him kind of like looking through paperwork, rigorously trying to clean things up at the same time, moving things and trying to figure out exactly, getting everything situated as he goes about the day. Mm-hmm.
So, might need. I like gesture to like the last entry on the list is like that seems like an undead, and the two being connected is not outside of the possibility. And the last time we had to, shall we say, encounters intercede with one another, we nearly died. Ryan nearly died.
I would not propose we raid the village, although it is my hope to do so. I did not get any opportunity to capture one for interrogation. I would like to ask more information both on the quest and the potential their involvement with that, but also their plans with the paper and the ink. I'm not spell-based like you, but I can imagine they're up to something. I would also like the location on Oat himself. The followers need taking care of, but they're not my priority. If we have other things to tend to, of course it can wait, but having them on the outskirts with all the giants has us pinned with two enemies, especially given Kez's church has declared a full war. And as the head of that, we are involved in that. It would soothe my worries to have at least one threat dealt with in some capacity.
Just kind of like nod thoughtfully. I don't disagree. Just tricky because we have famously not excelled at matters requiring subtlety.
Well,
You see
besides
Kez
being-
like lightly stop, like there's a moment of him trying to hold in a lap and then go back to running about.
I'm talking about you, Kez.
You see as he
I
stops and gives you a light middle finger, and then goes back to going what he was doing as he smiles and continues about reading through applications.
I'm glad he wasn't talking about me.
Stop, just like...
No, no, Ned. We're stealthy as all jazz. Don't worry.
I think, besides from sneaking up on one to capture them, I don't know how much subtlety we would need to get information out of a cultist. And Dom kind of cracks his knuckles just idly as he's talking. But I can see your reservations. Again, it is not urgent yet, but whatever those things are have a high reward cost. and I can't imagine the cultists are doing anything to make them less dangerous over time. If they are connected, they might just be in the same area, but I don't often believe in coincidence, given our luck.
I don't either. This sounds more like an infestation than anything. I don't believe that undead just popping up in two different places, being unrelated. I swear to Christ, if you do this to us, if he gets kidnapped from like a church full of people.
Oh no. We could take the Hellcarter Company quest. It doesn't pay the best, but it looks maybe the most straightforward, although the description of the creature is frustratingly vague. There's...
It also seems like a hard investment if we're not interested in joining their mercenary company. I don't know how interested they're in taking, comers.
We could work out perhaps just a contractual agreement, not full membership, but the ability to work with them, do jobs for them. But I agree, I'm not so eager to join on a whim. The other quests, the Shadows one intrigues me. I worry there's a possibility of Jikix or Valthana or one of our many other enemies being involved, which means likely very dangerous, but also could provide some answers. And then the Walking Iceberg, like I said, seems like if it is as big as it is, we should research it, likely stock up on some kind of fire measures against it. I'd be honest, the price tag is pretty, but I am not too keen on doing a child fetch quest. And kind of looks at the Crump one, especially if said child, with our luck, is injured or killed.
Absolutely not. That's the only one I'm probably putting my foot down on. Of like, let's not. Hey, our track record with with small things that are easily killed is not great.
I think you mean your track record,
which extends to all of us because I'm going to be part of the mission.
Yes, as party leader, and also given all of us are marked for bad things, it does not seem wise. And as Dom's talking, he's like folding up that piece of paper in particular as if to like take it off the table as an option. Just like casually, very slowly, like as Eider was talking, just folding it up and putting it away.
They're like, yeah, this is like the cue, like the gif of like, no, you're right, that was a silly question. Why did I ask?
Hey, Dom's just having all the information out here.
All right. I admittedly don't have a price tag for it, but there was a personal matter that might be of interest. I need spider silk, a not insignificant amount of it. I have something in plan for you, Dom.
Exciting. Can I ask what?
Like shrugs or like pulls out like some like vellum where he's got like sketched out some like plans. It says should hopefully help out a little bit. It's a spider silk robe of sorts, and I intend to embellish it with some of the gloom dragon scales that I acquired from killing Jikix.
I think Dom kind of leans closer. Can I make out like any information that I would understand on these sketches? All these little crafter notes?
Yeah, give me a moment. Do you have, knowledge craft, blacksmithing by chance?
I don't know if I have craft blacksmithing. I have knowledge arcana. And I might have... trying to see if I have anything else. I guess technically there is spellcraft. I don't know if that would work better than arcana.
Are you just trying to figure out what the magic is with these items?
I do also have calligraphy. So I guess would it be if I can't discern the magic of this, can I at least discern like maybe the intention of the design of it?
Well, that's what I'm curious about. Are you trying to tell the magic by it, or are you just trying to figure out what the item does overall?
Just try to figure out what the item does.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
just like see, like it's robes. He's got clothes, so clearly this does something that's of use.
Give me a D20 plus intelligence on this.
Okay. Hot rolls, hot rolls. Oh my gosh, nat 20, 21.
21. As you look over these, they look to be traditional monk robes. If you want to kind of explain it, either kind of walk through it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest.
yeah,
I know
you
you might
gotta
be
remember
shocked,
Dom's
but
thing now.
these look normal. Well, I haven't been fully told exactly what Ider's planning, so I'm gonna let him kind of explain his blueprints fully for you.
Yeah, the robes themselves, like you looking at looking up and down like the plans, they're supposed to be like a like high quality outfit. You notice like there are like embellishments with like the dragon scales that are going towards like the striking areas that you would normally associate with sort of the standard sort of monk combat style. Very heavily around like the elbows, like the forearms, the knees. Towards like the bottom of like the shins, like those particular areas, and gives them like kind of the impression that it should help with unarmed combat in some regard. Besides that, it should also, because of the quality of the spider silk and everything, give some semblance of armor or at least protection without actually being armor.
Gotcha.
You can basically you can make outfits like have an enhancement bonus, and it's about the same thing as a bracer of armor. So it should be a way to help Dom's ability to not get hit.
Yeah, I think Dom sees this, being someone who's already fairly defensive despite his lack of armor, and only seeks to be more defensive with his lack of armor. And you see kind of like a slow grin as he like looks at the design, and I think Eider can clock that. Not being a crafter, Dom clearly understands what the concept is and what it's designed to do, and kind of hums a bit. I like it. I would help in any way to help you make this. And if you want input on some of the scale placements in regards to monk fighting styles, I would not be opposed to helping alter the design. But I think you very clearly have a well-constructed concept. Yes, if you need spider silk and you know how to get it, I am at your disposal. And I kind of will hand it back.
I just kind of nod and say, sure, I'll take any kind of editorial notes. Obviously, your fighting style isn't ubiquitous, so the policemen should help out. The crux of the plan is more or less this, and I kind of shift and turn to Ned. We need a lot of spider silk. I mean, Dom's not a short lad by any means, and it's kind of getting towards winter, so spiders aren't necessarily that keen on doing a lot of metabolic activity. So my plan was more or less to try and find a spider, see if Ned could sweet talk them into letting us give them food in exchange for work and a free and easy winter for them and their young. Does that tickle your fancy, Ned?
I mean, I've never talked to a spider, but I also don't think I've ever sweet talked anybody. I'm not sure I understand what that means.
Well, in this case, I'll go ahead.
Yeah, I think Dom kind of leans in. When you are men of honesty and bluntness, but there are times in which you not necessarily want to be dishonest, but you would like to ensure the one you're talking to hears what they want to hear. For example, if I were to offer you a good stick. I know that you would like a stick, but maybe there's a chance you have a stick and you don't really need it. So perhaps if I know you wanted a pine stick, I would tell you it is pine. That way you would agree. The concept is you ensure you mention what someone wants and are otherwise pleasant and convincing. If you've seen, merchants in the shopping districts, how they will call on people who seem to buy the types of items they sell, it is that. Did Ned catch
But I
any of
don't-
that? Can I make
I
a roll?
don't,
Good.
I don't need you to bring me a stick. I can cast animate wood if I really want one.
But Ned, this stick comes from a very rare region of my hometown. Have you ever been where my hometown is?
I mean, we're both fire giants, so
I'm not
there's
from
a
the
good
Fire Giant
possibility.
lands.
Oh,
I want to say sign up for Eider. This is Dom is 100% attempting to teach Ned through active participation, and I don't know if Ned is convinced or not. I'll roll diplomacy if I need to, but yeah, this is Dom has
doesn't-
decided that Ned will learn firsthand.
Ned does not seem to get the what implication of what you mean by stick.
There is no implication. I just chose stick because Ned is a nature guy. Dom is, however, deeply amused.
I
If
just kind of like rub my face and just like watching like an ongoing train wreck.
yeah, Why
Ned
is my
looks
friend
completely like
You have
clueless,
wisdom,
Dom
though.
Nender.
You have wisdom. You can understand the concept. Come on, buddy. I believe in you.
understand the concept, but not the social cues.
Ned, think about this. All you need to do is tell the spiders we will offer them food and safety this winter if they help us get silk. And if you get lost on what to say, you can turn to me and Giant and ask me and Niter what is the best thing to say. And then you just need to speak the spider back to them. Does that sound good?
This is why we're not asking him first. We're just gonna show up with giant spiders in this fucking.
Hey. Ella Ugbo is the mother of all things with souls, and if these spiders have fucking souls, then they're welcomed in this church.
Listen,
Ned doesn't give a damn about Ella Ugbo.
that's up to Kez to decide. But he is too deep in trying to find someone to take care of this church when he is away.
The spiders.
I
think
don't
they
even
would
know if I'll be
very
able to
good.
talk to the spiders, but I guess we can give it a try.
I think you are the best equipped of us unless spiders understand dance.
I mean, I hope so, because that's really all I got.
Dom kind of pinches his brow just a little bit and looks at Eider. And if the spiders aren't willing, are there other ways to obtain spider silk?
No, you can't really beat like spiders that got silk out of spiders. They kind of make.
I
it.
more meant if they had webs lying around. Would those work? Or does it have to be something specific?
Let me put it to you this way. And I roll out the parchment, the vellum again, and kind of point down to the notes. Basically, per weight, it just starts listing off calculations for a solid 2 minutes of spider silk weight to the amount of that you would need to weave a yard of fabric and the actual yards of fabric that are necessary to make for Dom. Very quickly it becomes utterly apparent it ain't fucking happening from spider.
No. Do these calculations take into account regular sized spiders? Because there
No,
are
these are
most
giant.
certainly giant spiders. Okay. You would still need this much for giant spiders?
The silk weight doesn't change.
Would the quantity not change? And then you see Dom it is getting what you're saying, but he is nowhere near as mathematically intelligent as Eider, so he's just like kind of looking at these numbers like, well, I am still certainly up to trying, and if that fails, then it fails and we can do a quest, but I feel like this is going to be a lot of spiders. Have you checked to see if there's maybe like a spider breeder in this city or one of the cities we've been to? I could send a letter to Utham.
You know what? Like, let's go for that one. Let's see if we can't.
No, please. I really would. Let's do the. I got the giant spider thing ready. I've got the voice. I've got Ned messaging me in confidence that he's fully prepared and has a plan.
I need to hear the spider voice.
It was a joke. That wasn't serious. Oh, okay.
No, I need it now.
No. Oh, go look it up on YouTube. I guarantee you'll find one. Yeah, as you kind of thinking about, I mean, there is a large market in town called Delphin's Market. They sell pretty much anything and everything. Delphin herself is almost impossible to get like one-on-one time with personally, but as long as you're not trying to meet with her, the market pretty much offers everything King's End has on offer at the area in the area, being the most prominent place for both tourists and travelers to come through.
All right, Dom.
Good.
You got this.
What has Dom got this?
You have the best social stats. Let's go.
Oh, okay. So we are going to the market. Yeah, okay, yeah. So I think Dom would like pick up the jobs and hand them to Eider to look over as well. And then I guess we will, unless anyone has something else to do first, we'll finish our breakfast, food, lunch.
Breakfast. The hardtack, yeah.
Breakfast. And we will head into the market, and I will look for anyone who seems to be selling, I think, like monster parts or monster products, like beast products in general, and then try to narrow it down to spider specific.
Okay. Yeah, I assume Ned, and Ida, are you following after Dom?
I've been in the market for my downtime, so I assume I have a kind of a vague layout of at least parts of it.
I doff my almost obscenely tall top hat and transform into my kingpin suit.
Alright. Alright, so as you kind of put on your Kingsman suit, the top hat tapping on his helmet, almost immediately transforming Eider in front of your eyes, as he suddenly turns into a dapper fellow.
Bye, Kaz. Hope you don't get kidnapped.
Kaz kind of looks up and goes, it can't happen 3 times in 6 months.
I swear to Christ.
I do?
A little sign outside that you can already see that says, that in Eider's handwriting, that says, "Please don't kidnap our priest again."
This time we write down Kez's location, but we lie about it.
Yeah, no, I've got him like back in like Knighton.
As you close the doors behind you, heading out into the main street and beginning to head into town. The town in the 6 months have started to actually spring up a little bit. There are, where before Ella Ugbo's church was kind of in an open area, not many buildings really popping up at this point around the area. As it was kind of closer towards the forest and seemed to be almost kind of abandoned by a lot of the people who have moved into the territory. As of in the last 3 months, this place has started to pick up, and not only giants, but also other races that seem to be kind of slowly making their way here. A migration of sorts seems to be coming straight down from both Dragon's Crown and Diamond's Death, with a large amount of new folks kind of looking to get a new start in life. Bringing a large variety, even Loxodon amongst the ranks of King's End now. However, many of the shops have stayed pretty prominent. Few businesses have managed to pop up on their own as of recent, with Og being behind very much in paperwork during the time, thankfully limiting a lot of the shops in the town as you lot go about. Heading down though towards the docks, and where the majority of the not only the blacksmithies are, but as well as the large inn and the market itself. Um, the as you lot finally reach the dock, the edge of the docks, you see that the airship docks have been expanded, and more seem to be now set out with full actual towers, kind of set and designed to take cargo in and bring it down. What looks to be almost now 20 ships are able to dock in the town itself. As you look over your own down at the end, where you can clearly see still the figure of Bardris hanging out there as he usually does, working about on something. But as you turn your attention to the south, continuing on your way, coming towards the massive market where the docks seem to unload for most of the merchant vessels, a large merchant fleet seemingly having come into town, and another one heading out through this river from all the way up towards the Cracklands. As you lot look about, you see the massive market kind of expand out, the shouting Aasimar going about, kobolds yelling and shouting. The sounds of multiple languages can be heard. The smells of baked goods can be kind of caught on the air as fresh bread is being sold at the docks itself, as well as the smell of fish and clams being roasted as people walk by. An intricate smell, to say the least, but one that thankfully covers up the scent of most of the sailors who seem to be kind of finding themselves amongst the territory. The inn itself looks to be almost brimming with activity as you pass by, sailors going in and out. It looks like it's even, as you notice, currently under construction, as a third wing of the building is beginning to be built, trying to keep up with the demand for the interest in the city. But as you finally make it over towards the main market itself, coming to the market square, it looks like 4 large black bellied ships kind of seem to be ported or set to port, with them unloading. Multiple giants kind of coming in and all off as they seem to assist with unloading items and kind of getting things sold. Merchants shouting about as you look around, noticing a stall that offers a couple of monster parts. What looks to be some recent armors and items of sort that still have a bit of blood on them as you kind of catch your notice, as well as a cage behind them of what looks to be a mix of different slaves kind of tossed about. As you walk over, catching the attention with the monster parts and seeing the large heads of these massive skyfish kind of set out and a couple of the bodies hanging over to the side that are almost 12 feet in length, some of them. As the fire giant kind of stands there looking over at you, as he does. A few of the other giants from the ship, from the black-bellied ships, kind of going about their business and ignoring you a lot as they unload inventory. He kind of looks over at you a lot as you walk over. A bit of a dark one. Well, why don't you describe yourself? Give me a second. Utfal Hrazla. My apologies.
Of course.
Oh.
Utval is a 14-foot tall fire giant. A little on the heftier side at almost 7,000 pounds. He is actually dressed like a member of the fire giant military, seemingly of rank, but probably a small squad at best. With a golden battle axe at his hip, a large shield on his back, plate armor, with the symbol, if any of you would know it, of one of the noble houses of the fire giants. I don't know who had the good
roll my squire background.
I'll take it.
I think maybe
I probably don't
Utham's
know it, but would I know it?
I'd say maybe I don't think Dom would know it, but I think Dom might have caught things from like Utham's.
I will take a knowledge history from all those who are trying to figure out, or knowledge nobility.
What about a base intelligence?
I will take base intelligence.
That is a
15.
15, okay.
only a 10.
Ned, you
Oh.
didn't spend much of your time amongst the nobles. The sigil you see upon Utvil's axe does not quite catch your attention to anything. However, it does look similar to the one that your compatriot Kesnok carries, or carried when you first met him. Dom, you are unsure. Regan Utham had spoken ill of many of the fire giants, and there were a few house names. None of them, though, do you remember their sigils off the top of your head? Seeing it as not important, it being across the ocean and not likely to ever see an attack on the shores of Regan's territory, it wasn't worth much for studying. Either, as you kind of take a second to think, the House of Rezla, is supposedly, and most recently, the house that was known to be marrying into the Regan Utham household, with their leader having been announced as taking the hand of Regan Utham himself. The two were said, rumored to have gotten married sometime in the last 6 months, though there hasn't been much knowledge of what or when it happened. There's also some people who are already speaking of there is a child on the way and a potential heir, as the city or the capital has been aflutter with interest.
You know, do you know Kesnanok?
Dom doesn't know this, but Iter does.
Ned says this to you, Utval, do you say anything back?
My name is Utval. I don't think we've met. I kind of look him up and down. I doubt I've ever seen a green fire giant.
No.
Kind of looking Ned up and down. You're not sure what a Kesnanok is, but the name does not sound kind of familiar, nor do you know of any fire giants that are green.
I don't know a Kesnanok. Should I?
Oh, I don't know. He just used to wear that symbol, and I point at it.
Utval, as he points to your to your house sigil, kind of looking down at it. That sigil is not only carried by your clan family, the main clan, but pretty much anyone who lives in the town. It's not a common thing to find pretty much all of the goods, as you kind of take a second to think back on.
Yes. The symbol's common to anyone from where I'm from. Anyone who bought armor from us, anyone who lived there, the clan itself.
I see. I spent most of my time in the woods, so.
Well, at that mention, that it's almost kind of foreign to hear that, because there's not only are there very few druids amongst the fire giants, but there's even fewer that would be willing to work in the woods, as most of them are desert or mountain druids who prefer mushrooms or the dryness of the desert itself to trees.
Well, Utval is nothing if not courteous. Well, he'll hold his hand out. It's a pleasure to meet you. I am the heir of House Rezla.
Ned got grass and trees, and I grab his hand enthusiastically. Not very often do they offer their hand to Ned.
As Ned shakes your hand with a little less, with very kindness and what looks to be happiness in his eyes. He's definitely a very enthusiastic individual. As you kind of take a moment, Utval, shaking his hand. Also, you have there was a side question. How tall is Utval?
I believe I said I'm 14 feet.
Yeah, 13 feet. There you go.
Okay, I was just double checking the height difference between him and Dom.
Yeah.
Can I roll?
Utval's a little stockier and shorter.
Yeah. Oh, everyone's stockier than Dom in the giant lands. Can I know this is stereotypical, but Dom would do it meeting someone new who looks well armored and competent. Can I do just a little casual sense motive just to get a general vibe read off this guy?
What do you mean
He
by
seems
vibrant?
like someone in.
Are you trying to tell me he's also?
Dom determines he seems like someone important, so Dom's trying to gauge, is he just like a very competent warrior, or is this guy like important?
Okay, so you want to know if this is someone worth knowing or not, but based on how they're
Yeah,
acting. Gotcha.
basically, is this guy worth our time, or is he
Okay.
just a warrior?
Yeah, go ahead and roll. I do find that funny.
I know Dom really should. Yeah,
No,
Dom
see-
really should know more about this guy, but I rolled bad, so I don't.
Eider doesn't detect evil until Dom's sense motive fails. You gotta let Dom get their lawyerist in there first to see what it comes up.
Yeah, 16. Yeah, you
16.
gotta let me go first, Eider.
As you kind of look him up and down, with the looking over at Eider and catching Eider's sudden interest in the individual a little bit more, having it kind of gained a little bit of an inkling of who this is, as well as his introduction as the heir to to his clan. Dom, if he's the heir, that would be like this is the equivalent, to at least your understanding, to almost a lesser noble amongst Regan Utham's court. Someone who rules a territory, even in this case, as his family does. He would be almost equivalent as somewhat of Regan Utham's stature. Not to his deeds, to make clear, but to the rank that Regan Utham is amongst Giant Clan. Because to be followed, there's no such thing as a king in a sense. Traditionally, it's whoever that people follow and choose to acknowledge as their leader. There is no natural inheritance, as giants are a very fickle lot that will kill each other if they feel unjustly ruled. So.
Okay. I think,
taking that
then,
into account, he seems, yeah, go ahead.
say Dom, like, hears the name, thinks on it for a second, and sizes him up, and then I think there's a moment where it clicks who this is and who this probably is, and then I think anyone paying attention would notice like a shift in Dom when he goes from, oh, we gotta deal with this random guy, to, oh, this is a member of Utham's court. I have to care about how I present to this guy, and although already tall, straightens just subtly, like his position changes from just that kind of like always ready to fight position to a bit more of that like standing at attention, like proper position he'd be used to at court. And I will go to shake the guy's hand, and Domnander will introduce himself. We will not have had the pleasure to meet. I am not in the homelands, but I am Domnander Cortalis. Honored to meet you. I have heard brief things of you and your family. And
I thought you were Dom. Oh, come here.
What?
As he leans in and kind of grabs you almost into a grapple and hugs you heartily as he pats your back.
I think Dom's completely caught off guard because I've never met this guy, right? DM, as far as
Correct.
Dom's aware in person.
No. To keep, because Eider and I were just talking about this pre-session. To your knowledge, none of you have ever met this character. This is not someone you know
That's
personally, just to keep
so
clear.
funny.
Yeah, so.
I think Dom is fully caught off guard from going like, court, I gotta be professional, to this guy being like, get over here. And it just is like, stiffen the hug. And I think despite, like, with this height difference too of 2 feet, it's just like, they're like, my limbs are trapped to my body. This is not comfortable. But will, like, you know, he allows it to happen. I'm not gonna fight it. This guy's important.
Vol, to your own knowledge, this is also the party that Regan Utham has spoken about being both it will be either his greatest heroes or his greatest problem, as he expects for the future of them.
It's good to finally meet you, brother.
Right. It is, yes. Yes, it is,
You don't know.
a shame we have not met sooner. As you're aware, I am often traveling. I am not at home in court.
I just blink at how Dom says that. I'm like, I'm Blom's son. Blom is marrying Regan Utham.
Yes. 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 Right. Yes. Sorry. You have to forgive me. It's been a long few months. Right. Yes. That would make us, yes, brothers. Can I? I think Eider and Ned would notice this is the most, like, out of place kind of flustered Dom has been in a while, and the only other time they would have seen Dom this sheepish is in Utham Reagan's presence.
As some of the men kind of look, seem to eye up Eider for a second, gave a little bit of a greedy, almost a smile at him, and one of them giving a bit of a wink as they continue going about unloading from the black-bellied ships that they are, as Utval kind of stands in front of what looks to be a pretty large stall getting set up.
What brings you here? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, was that Eider? Yeah.
I give like the sailors that are like trying to like intimidate me, just kind of like a cold smile.
Mm-hmm.
Give like a little bit of a bow, and like tip my hat as I do. Just like kind of like make eye contact with like showing off the armor, and then tip the hat back on.
As you do, you notice. Give me an intimidation check. Also, I think they have to make a save for this.
Yeah, don't worry. My intimidate check is not going to be anything worth talking about.
Okay.
That is
Should have let me know. I would have helped. Oh my god.
That's a what?
That is a 5.
Well, you beat in that one. So as you kind of like take the hat off, the armor shifting, the men seem to like stop and freeze for a moment. Utval, you see as these are battle-hardened raiders who normally are willing to take on storm giant crews. In some of these cases, most of these men have served with Blackbone Og himself, as they were hired on to serve you after they had decided to go on. As they look to almost immediately go into a cold stop, you feel for once that your men are actually intimidated after even facing down a Dragon Lord at one point.
You know what's even worse about that? That they now what? I give a +5 to all allies on all will saves for being near.
Does not matter.
Doesn't even matter. Yeah, I know it hurts.
What tiny
and these fuckers got a nat 1.
It's like a Great Dane with a Chihuahua, man. The Chihuahua wins.
As you look over at Val and kind of see the armor for a moment, I also need a will save for you, or not will, fortitude. I think is it will or is it one? Let me double check.
It's will.
Is it will? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's always will for fear.
Thank you. Yeah, so will check. My apologies. I didn't know if I'd done something funky for the armor, and I was like, wait a minute, let me double check my own notes.
Well, it's a nat 20 for a 32.
Oh yeah, yeah. So you easily succeed.
It's a nat 1.
Yeah, you easily succeed as soon as you kind of spot this dragon scale armor, kind of catching the glimpse of it as he puts the hat back on. You notice that a few of the other giants that are walking about seem to kind of catch this. And Utval, you do notice there is a large giant on the other side of the market. And when I say large, sorry, I do mean, let me check my notes, gargantuan. As he stands or sits on this massive wide chair with other what looks to be eldritch giants kind of sitting around him, and a few of them doing business as they go out selling a few what looks to be nefarious and very cursed looking objects that as people kind of walk by and are forced to kind of hand over gold for. As this group kind of seems to glance and eye up Eider for a second, the large one in the center that you kind of clearly recognize as one of the few mountain giants you've ever seen seems to kind of almost give a quick gleam of on his face of a smile looking at Eider, and as soon as Eider puts his hat back on, he seems to stop and then go back to looking about his couriers as they're doing business.
It's an odd one. So, Tom, I believe you were asking why I was here? Yes?
Yes. I mean, not to interrogate you, of course, just I would have thought Luton would have sent word if you were coming here for, me to perhaps assist if need be. I assume this must not be anything.
I didn't come here specifically to meet you. It's just a happy coincidence. I'm off to prove myself as a soldier. I was part of the Fire Giant military, but then we became part of Utham's kingdom. I haven't signed on yet. So I kind of have right to wander a bit and get stronger before I have to go properly join up.
Yes. Very admirable. I'm of, though not a professional soldier, he gestures to like his obvious lack of armor and weapons. I am doing a bit of a similar thing myself.
Hmm. Truly, most fire giants should. Sadly,
I
not
think-
many grow their potential by staying within the lands.
Yes, not much in deserts, other than desert itself, I suppose.
It's true. Anyway, what are you here for? Looking for something?
Dom will kind of glance at Eider to see if Eider's gives like the party leader approval.
I just like kind of like flash you like a thumbs up.
Yeah, we dealt with the tomb in the area, we did not obtain the item we were there for on the Reagan's behalf, but we did clear it out. Now we are looking for other work to do in the meantime while we plan a course of action dealing with some of the threats I'm sure you've heard of. We're currently looking for large quantities of spider silk, actually.
Spider silk. I mean, the only nation that deals in large amounts of spider silk would be the Proto-Fiends. I think
Not
they
ideal.
did something. Leg spider, lung spider, something like that. A few years ago.
Send you something real quick. Utval.
Okay.
Give me a second. Sorry, my keyboard's acting up. There you go.
Oh my god. What the is? We do have something. It's a little out there, but it's technically what you're looking for.
Well, if you show our party leader and crafter, I'm sure he could determine if it is usable or not.
I mean, I'll take them to see the creature.
As you see, Utval looks a little bit grimaced. There's not an excitement in his eyes about this. As he kind of looks over at you, mentioning this. As he kind of ushers you towards one of the black-bellied ships.
We lost some good men getting it in there. Just please don't touch the cage or similar.
What exactly is this thing?
You hear one of the men lean down, Eider, next to you. Not quietly whisper, but still not very loudly speak, and he goes, El Inferno.
What do you know about elemental breeds of spiders?
One moment, allow me to consult the yield knowledge book of bullshit.
Yep, give me a knowledge, nature, or survival, my friend. I will take this from Ned or Dom as well as you hear this. And
Knowledge.
Nature or
Nature?
survivor?
Okay.
Survival. Survivor. Good show.
14 nature.
Oh, wow. Okay. Let's see.
18.
Oh, Dom is so not on his best performance. He's so off put by that hug. That is a 5.
It's the 6 months of down.
Nope,
You know,
6.
no true combat fighting yet. You know.
No, he's like,
Dom needs
He's
to taste
so-
blood. Good.
yeah, Dom is like around this guy that he has to make good impressions on because of Utham, so he's just like very uncomfortable at all times.
Yep. 18 from Eider, and that's survival and knowledge nature, Eider.
Knowledge nature.
Okay. Dom, while nothing kind of catches your attention off the top of your head, and as you're still kind of piecing together, trying to figure out what your relationship now is to Utval, and kind of like looking at putting the family tree now together in your head as you kind of like try and link things, and then a question comes up: is Kesdenok also now your sibling? With what Ned mentioned of having a symbol and being from that territory, is he part of this clan? Does that mean you and Kez are now brothers? You have to buy Kez a gift now. There's a lot of questions kind of swirling in your head, Dom, as you start to
Send him a
think.
Christmas card.
Exactly.
Be invited to the parties.
Ned, as you take a second thinking back, Inferno spiders are about the only thing that kind of comes to mind that are known as fire spiders. a creature known and notorious for liking to take over fire giant mountains and hunting fire giants. They are specifically very capable ambush predators who prefer young to middle-aged fire giants when hunting and seem to avoid the old and diseased. These spiders are notoriously also kind of acted as a proof of capability to a lot of the fire giants that you know of, Ned, as you kind of think on this. This was a sort of a warrior, or a way of proving yourself as a warrior is to capture one of these things alive without getting injured, leading to a lot of fire giants losing arms, legs, and other such items, as they realize that though the creatures are not, or may be fire-based, doesn't mean that they don't bite quite hard. As many poor giants would find out too late as that would lose their lives. Eider, hey, thinking on this, Inferno Spider Silk is one of the most valuable spider silk in the world. Arcanely, you couldn't ask for a finer material as it gives a natural fire immunity to whatever it's woven into. Downside is it's literally made of fire most of the time. The silk itself is constantly burning at 200 degrees Fahrenheit and can only be moved when it's on fire. Once it is quenched and cooled, it cannot be reignited, and it will never move. It makes it a very great material for binding and holding things together, like almost like steel, basically. But the downside is you have to be able to handle something that's constantly on fire and burning. Also, Inferno Spiders, to your note, don't give out their silk willingly. There's not many people who have figured out how to manage to get the silk. Some druids have claimed that they were able to convince the spiders to work with them by creating pacts or deals that benefited them. But those are only rumors, and as you think back at it, being even a minor noble yourself, you never saw even people like of James's rank amongst your clan getting items like this. This would be something even a royal would be dying to get their hands on. So,
Just like give like a low whistle and kind of like think. I like it just like tilt my head. It was like there's like kind of like an like almost like a verbal like tick. It was like a risk high reward.
Well, I'll tell you, they're aggressive, they're intelligent, they can speak. Although I don't speak their language.
One of the giants behind you with a barrel on his shoulder as he's walking up the gangplank with you lot goes, "Oh, and they fucking spit fire!"
Yeah, they do that too.
Well, us Fred, he got a loogie shot at him in the middle of an ambush. Can you imagine trying to explain to your wife, if your buddy's wife and child, that a spider spat on you, not on purpose, and it was nothing but something nasty, and it burned you away? Worst thing I ever saw. As he kind of heads off to the side to go sit down in the barrel, leaving you a lot as you continue following after Redfall.
Don't compare it or call it an animal. They are closer to elementals.
As you see some of the crew seems to kind of laugh at that, and a few of them say a few nasty slurs under their breath in giant about the spider.
Yeah, Ootful just doesn't want it to try and get out of the fucking cage again.
As it kind of takes you lot to the door where the stairs are and kind of takes you down it, heading to the first deck, you pass by the rest of the crew, counting about 30 more not normal sailors, as many of you kind of adjust. Many of these gentlemen look to be not as well dressed as Eider, as a good example, Eider being very well equipped as an adventurer for his capability currently. But to, like, what you, Ned and Dom, what you're wearing, a few magic items here and there that make you kind of stick out as individuals who aren't afraid or incapable of combat, even amongst soldiers themselves. These sailors seem to be similarly outfitted. Some of them seem to be dotted with minor magic items, some bags of holding, some leather armors that are +2 or +3, some that have orichalcum designed into their weapons and blades that seem to give it a strange glimmer. This crew looks a little bit nastier than what you had seen above, as Utval kind of leads you through them, heading down below to the third deck, the bottom belly of the ship where the majority of the storage is. as he does, kind of heading over to the back cages, there's a few cages with what look to be elves, Goliaths, some kobolds, a few frost giants, some forest giants, a sand giant. You know, the traditional what you'd expect of any slave ship. As Utval kind of passes them by, taking you to the very back where you see a solid blue ice cage with a large-looking spider that looks to almost like a black widow, except with fiery red skin and a black, what looks to be a blackened flame of a sun kind of on the back of its, I forget what the fucking, I think it's called a thorax? Yeah, the thorax.
Yeah.
The thorax, kind of emblazoning the creature's eyes, glowing a bright yellow as it looks on at you as you walk up. Its heat almost immediately felt as outside, it's about a minus 15-ish. In here, it's almost 50 degrees, comfortably as you walk in. As you notice, as you got lower into the ship, kind of got warmer and warmer. This creature seems to be single-handedly warming the entire ship by itself, while still in the blue ice cage.
When Utvol walks in, he kind of just starts to shrug off his cold weather clothing and just put it on a rack as he walks closer.
I think Dom would do similar with his cold weather gear, just because it's definitely. I imagine Eider is just miserable in this heat.
I think I've got. Is it immunity or just resistance to fire because of the?
I think you have resistance. I think it's like resistance 5 or 10, so you're fine in this.
Oh, wow.
It's surprisingly. I mean, you can feel the temperature shift, but it doesn't phase you at all.
Yeah, because it's like roughly the same thing as having protection from elements once you have like a certain degree of fire resistance or cold resistance.
Any resistance above 10, I think, is automatic weather resistance for that type, which also apparently will go into some elemental thing I'll tell you about later, which is fun. Yeah, as you kind of head down, feeling the temperature change, either doesn't seem to be thankfully much of a difference, as your armor seems to naturally start to cool you the warmer it gets, keeping your body kind of at a stable temperature.
Mutter like a little like thanks to Dragathax. Tap the chest of my armor lovingly.
It seems to lightly vibrate. To the rest of you, you just see it seems to catch a glimmer under the light from the Inferno Spider as the creature, and it seems to be chewing at one of the ice bars as it seems to pull away every once in a while as the sound of sizzling can kind of be heard from the creature's mouth. Ned, Ned, you're pretty much dressed the same as always. I mean, I forget your toga, yeah.
Yeah.
Just it's some of the moss kind of taking off a layer of moss and setting it off to the side before you put it back on, I imagine. Ned's like sleeves come off as detachable pieces of moss as he kind of like lays them on. The jeans or the long pants now turn to shorts as he kind of like pulls the moss down a little bit and sets them over the rack.
Pants.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. You don't wear pants. You just wear a very long toga.
There's a reason I don't look up very often.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Eider.
Eider's like, looks like there's a full moon tonight, and there's the moon over there.
And in the quest of to find Captain Underpants. Alright, as you kind of head down though, as each of you kind of take your gear off, the summer gear or cold gear off before heading further in. A few of the slaves seem to kind of cry and whine as you pass by, but surprisingly, none of them, unfortunately, seem to make any move as Utval seems to kind of give them a glance. These already having price tags along their cages as you pass by. As you head to the back of the ship, though, getting closer, it warms up to almost a nice toasty 70 degrees as the creature almost continues to expand its inferno as you walk up to it. Standing right in front of its massive icy cage, the cage's side walls seem to be fully made of solid blue ice that has arcane runes drawn into it. The right side clearly shown what looks to be a chunk of ice that has been shoved in awkwardly, as there looks to be some portions of it where you can still see the cracks unsealed where the creature clearly escaped previously. The front bars only being the way that this creature can actually see out. That kind of lets you look into it as it kind of stands there staring at you, waiting to see what you do, not moving.
Gotcha. Does the creature seem injured and all?
Give me a heal check, good sir.
lost track of my character sheet. Where the hell
You're
am
good.
I? Oh, there we are.
I feel the same half the time. Don't worry with these tabs.
18.
18. Looking at the creature up and down, physically, no. Emotionally, it looks like its pride is definitely hurt as the creature looks to be looking more towards Utval than anything else. Wariness clearly as it seems to step away. But as you look it over physically, there doesn't look to be any marks on it that show any indication of wounds or injuries. Nothing on the beast looks like it's even starving. In fact, as this creature looks more well-fed than you'd expect for a spider who's been traveling for a few months, probably by a boat.
I'd feel worse for locking them up, but, they did attack us first. We weren't originally going to capture one of them.
As Utval kind of points over to what looks to be a long golden boot with the house Rezla kind of on the side of it, symbolized what looks to be a bone slightly sticking out of it, clearly showing that a fire giant caught by this creature.
What were you planning to do with them?
A lot of nations like trying to domesticate creatures, but a lot of royals like owning weird creatures like these. You can't really find them in most places. Probably going to sell them to a country as far away from the fire giant lands as possible. Why?
Well, I have an interest in them. Just checking to see what exactly you were looking to do with them.
So, DM, the slave ones had a price tag. Does this big boy have a price tag on the front?
Yeah. So he's worth about 75,000 on the market because of his attitude, and he's not. The creature doesn't seem to be responding to any of your druids as you look in at the boot of the druid you had on your ship. Kind of realizing that this creature does not care, which is a little unusual as they're ferocious, but to go out of their way to go after a crew larger than it and not care about its well-being seems kind of a little bit out of interest, giving you more of an interest to sell this creature as well because it seems to be unique and quite capable. So you're in a toss-up at this point. The price tag on there, let me just double check. I said 70, didn't I?
75.
75. Yes, that is correct. Okay, making sure I got that correct. Says about 75,000 gold pieces. You're pretty sure you could probably double that, but this would also be a great wedding gift as you're kind of considering it, given that, not wedding gift, but gift for the new heir that's supposedly being rumored to be born, which could be a good way to get on Regan Utham's good side long before you take power. And looking back, the rest of the slaves you have are roughly worth anywhere between about $2,000 to $5,000 gold pieces apiece.
Market value, as you can see, 75k. I can get a lot more if I sell it to nobles, though. Unless you're just looking to buy silk, and then it's kind of on you to try and get the silk out.
Well, I imagine if you had the ability to do that, you wouldn't be selling them.
Oh, don't be wrong, I can get the silk out, but I'll be leaving with at least a broken arm.
As the creature seems to snap at the ice bar as it starts to sizzle and pulls away violently as it seems to be angry at the ice blocking its way.
Just kind of nod, think for a moment, and then fuck it, I don't speak.
Is this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is it considered a magical beast?
Technically, by classification, yes. In my world, it would be.
Does it have more than an intelligence of 2 by chance?
It does. It has an int of 6
Okay.
at least.
Remember, I said it could speak.
Yep.
Thing is,
Well, I will say to Ned's own thing, Ned doesn't know that, what the base for intelligence to speak is on creatures outright. So,
I was hoping I could wile empathy, but it's too smart.
oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, I thought no, you had a plan if it had me over too. Oh, my apologies.
Yeah, I forgot. I forgot he can't. Well, empathy magic beast. Fuck. All right. Well, shit. I might be the only one that can communicate with it out of our party, and that's a maybe. It depends on how well it responds to primordial.
well, it speaks a fourth of primordial, from my understanding.
Yeah.
The creature seems to curse. Do any of you know Ignan?
No.
No.
Like I said, I know primordial. I don't know.
As the creature seems to utter a curse out loud, you can feel the venom, no pun intended, from the creature's words as it seems to speak it, staring at you, Eider, as it locks eyes.
Gotcha. I try speaking very slowly in primordial.
Okay. What do you say?
Talking down to the creature, I respect it.
No, it's just I know I can't fucking communicate like with most of the words I'm saying.
All right.
So I'm hoping tone and inflection help out the rest of the way.
All right. What do you got, Eider? What are you saying in in primordial?
Well, what do you want?
It spits again in Ignin, a strange word. Give me an intelligence check to see if you can figure out what it means. You know what really sucks? Good, sorry.
That is a 7.
You know, yeah, Kesnok had something for this. As you kind of try to catch the words, it speaks so fast and almost like a Cuban speaking Spanish. You try to catch it as a someone who's just learning the language, and you catch coffee come out of its mouth, but you're sure it did not say coffee at any point in that sentence, as it seems to speak and stare at you once more.
Well, I've got no reason to like think for a moment, like tilt my head. I am visibly confused, and then I shrug and say, I guess I'll be right back. Don't worry, I'll be right back. And kind of start heading out to find Bardris.
Oh, okay. Yeah, as you start kind of turn and start heading off, Eider at surprisingly a decent jog for his stubby and shortness. Udval, that's the fastest snowbeard you've seen, especially given the size of him. He's a thick snowbeard. He could be part giant for all with the look of him.
I'm thick with 3 C's.
As he goes rushing up, you kind of looking at Dom. Well, it's not uncommon for princes and royalty of giants to try to find commoners of other races. As you kind of look at Eider and kind of look at Dom for a moment, you never know. There could be more in the background as you kind of put two pieces together, looking at these two for a moment. But as Eider runs off, Dom and Ned, what are you doing?
I think Ned would just look at Dom real confused and then back at the flame spider and just kind of wait.
Okay.
I think, sorry, I was reacting to what was just implied.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dom would turn to Woodfall and I guess make conversation while we wait, because he's not gonna mess with the spider and I can't speak primordial or its language.
Okay.
So I know you are here to obviously prove your strength, and you seem to quite successfully done that already. Is there any other business you have in town? We don't have much to do right away, given one of our party members is occupied with business, and we were thinking of doing some of the jobs around the town. It might be worth time working together. Some of these seem like that it might be some level of prestige that comes with them, and I'll pull out the jobs because I have them on hand and let them look them over.
Dom is trying actively to recruit a new member to the
I
party.
think Dom doesn't know how to make small talk. Well, he knows how to make small talk. He doesn't know how to make good small talk with this guy, so he's just talking business, because that seems to be a topic they can both agree on. Otherwise, he has no clue anything about this guy and how to get him to like him, so he's just trying to be nice.
No worries.
Ned will lean into Utval and just go, he's quite He's quite an inquisitive fellow. You'll get used to it.
Did I hear that?
I imagine Ned's not quietly saying this, but he's not exactly
Is
being
that
loud
in
about
regards
it.
to Dom or Eider?
I'm off the scene, so I can't be saying it.
I say,
I
Dom, as you look up, like Eider's gone already.
I'm just looking at Ned, and I don't say anything because again, Dom's kind of trying to be polite. But I think if Ned looked at Dom, there would just be like direct eye contact.
Give Dom a thumbs up.
See what you got.
Bo's got Beast Boy energy.
Walking Ice. There's a similar quest in the Frost Giant territory right now, over in Velcomen. Shadow dealings. Evil in town. Something about a low scream. I mean, it couldn't be a monster, right? It wouldn't be in the middle of the market.
No,
In fact-
certainly not.
Can I roll for fucking creatures that like hunting in dark alleys? I feel like it's oddly specific, but
Yeah, go ahead and give me a survival or knowledge nature check.
I have a few theories on people or things it could be, given what we've run into in the past, but I don't think it's a typical monster.
17 for nature?
Alright, give me a moment.
Could be worse.
And for which quest was this, just to confirm?
Shadow dealings.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
And well, you grab that. The Crump family is always bad news. They make good money. They're not liked by many people. They inflamed a whole war over where they're from.
I'm surprised Dom kept a hold of that poster.
Hey, Dom's prepared.
You know,
He's ready to do a job today.
even if you don't join them, the Halkar company, being accepted, even if you don't, accept their invitation to join any mercenary company, is a good look on you. It means you're worth
I
something.
was thinking the same exact thing, actually. I'm glad we're on the same page. The party leader, Aiter, seemed a little bit not on board fully with joining, but I pointed out having that connection would be quite good for us in the long run. It also seemed just the most straightforward, considering we're just doing a side job while our one member's out of commission.
Helps that goblins that decide to fight, well, they respect other strong people. You could make some friends.
That's true.
If the Iron Warden's calling for help, it's probably not an easy fight.
No, I did a bit of scouting for some personal information in that area, and I believe that the potential undead might be connected to a cult in the area that I'm working on dealing with, so there's likely more to that quest than it implies.
I have a couple theories about the dark alleys and shadows. None of them are good. You know
I
anything
would
about
imagine not.
monsters?
Gloom?
Yeah, monsters
that-
from...
Sorry, that was just, and I was out of character, but in character voice.
Yeah. He's asking if you know about monsters from the Gloomland.
I kind of look at Ned, because Ned was there. We've had brief run-ins in with Gloom, given what happened at the capital, as I'm sure you heard, but not the Gloom lands themselves. I've never been that far out.
So the Gloom are a sneaky lot. The monsters from their lands are as well. They can turn into shadows. Sneaky little shits. Not common, shouldn't be near here at all, but who knows, maybe someone stupid brought one over. Could be a shadow elemental, which would be extra bad. Could be the new Apex monster that popped up that said shadow, some kind of shadow beast. Shadow
Is
elemental.
there a way
that's
to
not-
find signs of which it could be before actively hunting it? Specific marks or things that might give away what it is?
Let's see. I mean, there's spells that can find elementals. Shadow beasts. I mean, if none of the hunts have any correlation, they're just kind of random. It's probably a shadow beast. They're not the most. If it's Apex monster. Well, I'm surprised Ogg's not dead yet. If it's the Apex monster.
Agreed.
I mean, it's a shadow elemental that was already Apex that was rumored to have been bitten. Like they're making it even stronger than normal Apex.
I imagine a lot more than a few people would be dead.
If I had to guess, I think it'd be throwing buildings rather than around.
So likely a gloom monster or a shadow elemental. And as Dom's talking, he's like pulled out his little book and is
You're gonna
scribbling things down.
want some kind of spell related to light or similar. They don't do as well if you make the area bright.
Ned, do you have something that produces light? I could have sworn you or Kez did.
I think produce flame does.
Yes, it does create a light spell. It does create a light effect, I believe.
I can produce flame.
It should work. You'll have to stay close to it, though. Most people prefer things like daylight, but I mean, any light works.
I mean, our friend Kez might have daylight given his profession, but we would have to check that later.
Must be pretty
fire.
skilled. Daylight, I mean, 3rd level spell. It's be pretty proficient.
I believe out of character, Kez did just unlock
he
those
just
spells
left.
recently.
No,
But
No,
I
the
don't know
person
what
you're
he
thinking
prepared
of,
to tell
Dom,
this
is
was.
Eider is the one who has shot daylight from his hands before.
Oh, okay. Well, I knew someone in the party did a light thing. I just couldn't remember the exact
Yep.
magic effect.
Yep.
Seems most of the party, minus myself, has magical capabilities and likely could produce light. Would there be any? Do you know of any immunities or resistances this creature would have?
I mean, they're made of shadows, so you're gonna need some kind of magical way to hit them.
Dom just idly flexes his hands, like understandable.
If there's not enough light, they'll just blend with the shadows. At least most of them, so you won't even know it's there. Ambush predator, little things.
Right. That I would imagine nothing less if it was something from the Gloomlands.
Other than that, not really a monster guy.
As you
More
look
of
at the
a
rest of the
war
cages around the room are mostly designed for people, slaves and such. This ice cage looks to have been the last design of the druids whose poor life looks to have been sacrificed in exchange for making the cage.
He'll be remembered.
I will mention to Dom specifically, Blue Ice, to your own knowledge, is extremely expensive and rare to find. That frost giants, very few of them offer to sell when they find mines of it.
Can it be safe to assume that maybe this was provided by Utham himself?
No, Regan Utham can't afford to get Blue Ice. That is one of the few
Really?
materials in his nation that even the members of it will not sell to him outright because it is that valued.
Yeah,
Dang.
it is. Blue ice is like you have to mine it into glaciers to get it, like really deep, into like thousands and thousands of year old glaciers.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay.
So the fact that they have a cage, or that a caster that could make this cage at the sacrifice of his life, tells you that this druid that was quite capable of a caster.
I think druids make blue ice. They need to be like level 13 or higher to make it. So it's like
Correct.
So Dom definitely sees this and knows there is a good level of wealth and magical backing. And I think he'll look at that and kind of look at Udval. A question for you, brother. Do you? I can only assume, given the presence of this and like gestures at the blue eyes, you have means of finding or already have in your repertoire powerful casters. Do you know of anyone who could potentially unattune an item that has forcefully attuned to a person?
how strong's the item?
Dom, because he's not a magic person and knows Ned probably isn't the person to ask, just simply gestures towards the belt he's wearing. I feel like it's fairly obvious because he's in his light weather clothes and it is a very big belt. Well, I don't know its power. I'm not a magic person, so to speak, and Iter is gone, but it is from. I'm debating if I should tell this to Udvo.
As you kind of take a second to think about that, Dom, whether or not you want to kind of reveal that or not, let's jump over to Eider for a second.
Yay!
Eider, as we follow you along towards toward up the town or into the town and toward the the airship naval yard, takes you about a good hour of jogging. It's not a quick run, especially with the city being so packed, even in the early morning. As you pass, kind of heading out the market, you do notice a few eyes kind of catching onto you. Give me a spot check to see if they even catch your attention specifically for your own note.
Sure thing.
Appreciate
16.
that. 16. As you look about, catching your attention, you do notice the mountain giant kind of sitting in his chair, eating some chunk of meat that he pulls out of a large bit or crate and seems to start chewing on it. As you kind of see the creature looking to be moving, still though not knowing really what it was. As the mountain giant kind of chews down on it, watching you. Two of the eldritch giant guards at his either side of his chair kind of seem to be watching you as well as their couriers go about kind of doing business. You do also notice another frost giant that seems to be kind of eyeing you up, though he looks very common in feature, not really sticking out. He does look to be looking at just nothing but your fancy out nobleware. And you kind of take a second note, looking down at yourself. It takes a moment. He might be looking. He seems to be looking at you as an easy mark to sell, as you see his stand of let's say as a craftsman yourself, let's just say this would make you cry at the lack of love that's been put into any of his items that he's offering for a high value.
Oh no. I just give him the stank lip.
I'm ignoring the mountain giant as you just look at him, just trying not to discouraging any chance here of him coming up to talk to you, as he kind of sees this. Gives a light nod and turns back to another customer as he hands him. What you see is the crudest ball of copper that you've ever seen. It's supposed to be a sphere, perfectly rounded, and the thing has spikes sticking out of it.
I resist the urge to go fuck with this man's life with all of my might, because I have shit to do. But so help me.
As you kind of seeing this, kind of taking breath and continuing on your way, not seeing it would be worth it, knowing you're in a hurry as you kind of run off. Heading further into the town, as you head up towards the boat, heading towards the naval airship or dock itself, kind of climbing up the long staircase. It does take you quite a bit. Passing a few merchants, some selling what look to be large bears, a group of goblins in heavy armor that seem to be kind of joking, seem to kind of lightly almost bump into you on the staircase going down the large tower to kind of get up onto the docks. Though, unfortunately, as your armor is quite sturdier, you feel it lightly tap. However, as you look back for a moment, you see the pauldron on the goblin that was once a big, large silver pauldron with this beautiful intricate design of a goblin taking the head of some demon. Is now looks like it's been crushed like a soda can and pushed in, and he looks to be saying something and pissed as the goblins seem to be looking about at you as you kind of continue past. None of them seeming to kind of move to do anything as they grumble and head off.
Yeah, but I'm not making any friends, but that's not a thing that I could solve right now.
Nor could they see your armor, only seeing from their perspective, only seeing the merchant attire. So,
no trouble. I ain't gonna make trouble.
Yeah, as you pass by, continuing on, heading up to the top dock, as you pass by a few giants that are talking and discussing, light discussion of some war and mercenary work coming up, something about a holy war as you kind of pass by, the mention of Lithotara's name kind of lightly whispered as you kind of run off, not trying to look up as you notice, unfortunately, that the giants around the air dock seem to, like Ned, favor a lack of pants as a belief. As you continue on your way, heading over towards the airship itself. Seeing as Bardris, who's sitting kind of on top of the deck, what looks to be a red-skinned troll bound at a chair sitting next to him, and a large, almost elven-like figure with grayish skin, big beady red eyes, pointed ears, a little top knot of white hair. He looks to be about 15-ish feet and tall, and almost about 5-ish feet wide, a bit thicker for what you'd expect of a creature of this like. Kind of clocking this as a potential elven Goliath mix-like creature as you kind of see this. As you head over, Bargus, who seems to be talking to the figure, as you recognize the tied-up troll as Sen the Red.
Sen, you're alive. Why are you tied up? Bargus,
you-
what the hell are you doing?
Bargus kind of looks at you and just looks up at the figure, the elven figure, who looks down at you and smiles and goes, "Oh, so you're Eider. I have come to reward you.
Who are you?
A vested party who wants to pay you for getting rid of a nuisance that was a problem to both of us. The fellow you met by the name of Jakix Morin?
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Yes, I am only, as he kind of like his attire, similar to your own, is very professional, very mercantile. A greenish coloration kind of hewing through it with lots of bits of silver and what looks to be copper kind of inlaid into it that you clock as orichalcum. As he kind of looks at you, so kind of catching this guy's quite wealthy, real quick, as he smiles at you and goes, this individual here, as he kind of waves his hand towards Sen, who's got his mouth gagged, he looks panicked and, like, scared out of his mind looking at this tall figure. As the figure continues and goes, he was kidnapped, and I could not let that stand when I heard that you had done such a great deed for, well, truly all civilization, let's be honest, or such a pain in the ass that individual was. And I heard you were friends with this fella, so I went and made sure to free him, if you will. You may have seen a few things, so I've kind of had to gag him for the time being to not alert the locals and scare everyone. I hope you understand, but I hope you take this as a kind gesture for the great deeds you've done.
There's look very confused, do a quick detect evil, I guess, because something about this guy's mannerisms just seem too oily, he seems like he wants something from me, damn it, even though this is a quote-unquote reward.
I need to roll something real quick. Hold up. He is faintly evil, is what you get. It is definitely weaker than your own capability and than any other creature you've met before. Something about that, though, does give you a bit of a cold chill down your spine that this creature is doing something, individual or creature.
Gotcha. So I definitely get more of the idea there's probably a masking or spell effect.
Yeah.
Especially having gone against one of those not so distantly.
Well,
Sen's
also not a weak character. You've seen him capable of standing on your airship while it's flying at top speeds, and was willing to take on the Bone Wyvern to help you guys with pretty good confidence. And he looks scared out of his mind after being kidnapped and freed. It kind of clues in that either Sen's got has seen something, or this guy isn't who he's acting out to be, or pretending to be. But yeah.
I just look at him for a moment, I think, and say, I'll be honest with you. I really hate pretenses. Is this a threat?
Oh, no, dearie me. I apologize if it comes off that's a racial thing. When your species was known for fighting off dragons because they kept trying to eat you, you just develop an aura that gives a unique flavor to most of the other races. So I do apologize if I come off that way, as he kind of lightly taps his nose, kind of as if he's scratching it, and continues and goes, "This is my courtesy to you as a heads up, that there are those out there that agree with your thinking and don't stand for the current plans of the world. I wanted to make sure that you know that you are supported for when you do deeds like this, even if you are not interested in working with us directly. I felt it was only right to reward you. Technically, I wish I could reward all of your compatriots, as those who stand against Lithotara are friends of mine, of course, as he smiles and goes, but as you're the one here, I figured I'd offer this. And, of course, I do apologize. Your friend Bardris here's mind is a little tweaked at the moment. It's a caution, as the leader of these lands does not care for my kind.
Kind of like furrow my brow. I was like, what plans exactly are Jakix's?
Oh, he plans to remove the Cataclysm from this plane of existence completely. The plan of his exact belief of his group, well, his group, from my understanding, has a different opinion on that, but he plans, to my understanding, to usurp the creature's power and take it for his own, freeing what was once around to bring it back to the mortal plane. I take it you have been to the lands where those of even the immortal souls don't wish to travel, as you kind of catch the sense that he seems to be applying to either Moors or Abaddon.
I just kind of like keep like a schooled expression on my face and just kind of nod. Information is commodity, and I don't think I trust this guy enough to give him more than necessary.
He continues with that and goes, he wishes to have that back. A world that should not be and is long past its prime, and in a horror that I don't think any of us wish to see. Personally, I like to watch everything unravel as it's supposed to. Watch the world, see what it represents, and let my grandfather continue to live a peaceful life until he dies and I am able to go in and do my own thing. So, I hope you can understand why we don't want Jakix to take this power, this creature's capabilities, and unleash such a horror, especially being a race of your own stature. Your species would not fare very well amongst those ranks.
Who's your grandfather? Thinking to like the odd mural that we have seen very recently.
Yeah, looks at you and goes, "Oh, my grandfather goes by many names, but I think his the mortal name you all know him as. Now, you as mortal, I hope you understand, he is a powerful druid who has become almost immovable by time. His name is Thief."
Thief. I imagine that doesn't ring any bells.
Yep.
Eider, you can give me a knowledge history, but the DC is 40.
Yeah, I can't make that. So.
Okay. However, your player or your compatriots know some stuff from other campaigns, so they'll probably fill you in the chat here as they panic here in the background. Don't mind that.
Well, it doesn't matter because I don't know it in character. So
Exactly. No, you're about to get a message here in a minute that just basically says run. But no, as he kind of smiles and goes, when he says the word thief, though, in Dwarvish, or in your own native tongue, and as well as in Giant, because I believe you speak both, right?
Yeah.
You speak that, and then you also speak Primordial and Primitive, or just Primordial?
Speak Primordial, Primitive, Draconic. That's it.
Okay, so Draconic and Primordial, the words thief translates as Slayer of All. Which, in terms of what that means in a translation, slaying doesn't just mean like, oh, he can kill anything. This means as he is the creature that will kill everything. Gods, the world, everything. Which is a pretty prominent title, because as you know, names have power. And in Dwarvish, this, as well as Giant and Primitive, this means Timekeeper. Or as well as could roughly translate to Protector of Time, depending on your translation.
I just like furrow my brow, like I clutch my head for a second. It's like, okay, why does his name resonate so differently in different languages?
Oh, you're lucky. Those are the only languages you should know. My grandfather's been around for quite a long time. Being a druid, he's seen too many centuries pass. He sleeps as a tree now in his time memorial, as he is too old to move. But probably you know him as a guiding force through much of your own species' rise to power. It's some say that he guided the younger races. I think that's just a bunch of bullshit. My grandfather is kind of what's the way of putting it? Speciesist, I guess would be. He looks at all races as weak and lesser, so I don't see him as a guiding force personally. But you know, hey. That's what everyone calls him, as he puts his hands up in the air. You see Bardris has his eyes, like, panicked, just slightly looking at him, as there's a slight look of realization in his face of something even he didn't know.
Did your grandfather fight the Star-Lord?
No. He's never fought a battle in his life, to my knowledge. In fact, I don't...
Like,
Good.
I was just like thinking, I was like, guy that kills everything hasn't fought anything. I was like, hold up.
As you kind of like look up at him with a little bit of both curiosity and like, wait, what? He looks down and kind of continues and goes, a name such as that means that once one starts, you can't stop. Well, my grandfather, from my understanding, lived in fear that once he killed someone, he'd never be able to stop killing, so he's never even taken an offensive ability or spell, from my understanding. The scariest spell I think I've ever seen him use is Create Water, in which he used that to splash the gardens that he kept, refusing to ever even harm or use his magic on other creatures unless it was to protect them, from my knowledge.
You give a strange and conflicting tale.
History and knowledge tend to conflict with one another. As he kind of smiles at that, and he goes, "I do apologize. I haven't introduced myself. My name is Kaijin. I do hope, though, that we can do business in the future. Should you be bothered by that Jakix fella again, if you manage to find any way to keep him away, please, I'd be curious to find out any information and maybe assist. Or, if you do not trust me, which I can see the wary look upon in your eyes, a way that may be beneficial to both of us that you could share, so that way we could work in tangent with one another without directly being effective to each other."
There exists no possibility that can't come to pass, so... In that sense, I'm at your service. I am reluctant to trust you, although I don't suppose that is a new revelation.
He smiles and goes, "Rarely do if you choose to, but I hope you understand that your compatriots, I will be blanking their minds to avoid any misunderstandings going forward. I don't wish my capabilities or powers to be let out quite yet. And I think that you knowing too much about me may cause you detriment you do not need yet. As is the Ironheart Merchant Company is already caused problems after just knowing my name, from my understanding."
Are asking permission to blank my mind?
I'm not. But I do ask that you not use your Spellfire ability if I choose to do so, as a courtesy to you, as I will choose to also forget your own true name. As you see a light glimmer in his eyes, and they seem to flash to a golden color and then go back to red. He looks to you to see if you what you say.
Like thinking him up, or like thinking it over, like looking him up and down, says, "Fun."
Perfect. Let this spell only come into be disengaged upon the point when this information becomes pertinent to your survival or your group's survival." As he smiles and then waves his hand. Give me a will save, unless you're choosing to fail.
choosing to fail it.
So I have to ask. I'm so used to the Shogun betrayal at this point. I'm like waiting for like the creative comeback to kill this creature. But okay. You feel as your mind is not blanked of what you of the individual you saw, nor the panic in Sen's eyes or the revelation at in Bardris's, but the name of this individual and much of what he stated outside of him offering to assist you if you ever are in need, and that he will or that you have people who are backing you, even if they aren't directly backing you, that support your decision with banishing to Kix. And in exchange, they freed a kidnapped Sen. As your mind kind of suddenly snaps back in, you look about, the creature is gone, and Bard just kind of looks at you in horror as Sen, still tied up, his mouth gagged, kind of sits there. Bard just kind of looks over and goes, "That's not good."
I just gotta give him a wide smile and say, well, it isn't new. Nothing good seems to follow me. Am I the cursed one?
You see a light chuckle at that, and he goes, "If my memory serves me right, and we are going to be finding out that answer really quite quickly. What did you need?" As he kind of gets up and starts untying Sen, looks over at you and goes, "Okay, speaking to you, Eider."
Oh shit, right. Sen's fantastic to see you again. I'm so sorry you've been kidnapped. I came originally to potentially get coffee because there seems to be a inferno spider that wanted some. I seem to remember Kez being irritable about the same drink. I'm trying to secure some spider silk, so I thought perhaps there might be some bizarre world in which this creature had encountered your beverage.
Bart just kind of stops midway, like from untying Sen to Sen's annoyance, as he's like trying to shimmy out of the rope, and goes, "Spiders can't drink coffee."
It's an inferno spider.
No. As he kind of nods, like shakes his head and goes, What exactly did the creature say?"
Like, think nonplussed. It shrugs. I don't honestly speak Ignan, only primordial. So, again, easy mistranslation. Figured also there's a non-zero chance that you just knew Ignan and could translate if I needed you to.
He nods and goes, "I know every language."
Yeah, I figured. You seem like they type for some reason.
He kind of pulls out a book out of his back pocket, and kind of, as he opens it, it starts getting larger and larger and almost like unfolding itself. As it's rather on the side, it reads, "The Book of Languages Plus." As Bard just kind of like flips open and goes, "Ignan," alright, and kind of like licks his thumb, flips the page, and goes, "You know what? Here, we'll take this with us." And he puts it on his back and goes, "Take me with you. I'll deal with this." And kind of like as he finishes untying Sen and kind of guides Sen over down into the ship for a moment, turns and then kind of starts heading after with you, Eider, towards back towards the black-bellied ship.
Yeah.
As the two of you start running back, kind of filling Bargers in on the situation, I assume. As you get to the edge of the docks, you see him kind of come to almost a quick stop as he looks at the ship and goes, "Eider, you know those are Blackbone Og's ships, right?"
I just look at him blankly for a moment and says, "Huh?"
"Yeah, black-bellied, black bones, the ship's bones are the wood, that's why it's a thing of all of his ships. He's the only person in the world that like puts his ships as stained black."
No. I did not know that.
"Please tell me that we're not meeting with Blackbone Og."
No.
Oh,
He introduced himself as Utval Brazel.
Oh, thank God, the son, okay. Oh, Jesus. I mean, he's probably Og's son, but, it doesn't matter. He probably won't kill us. Yeah, you. Me, most likely. But that's... Well, no, I didn't do that. Did I do that? No, I didn't do it. No. Bardris, question. What is your favorite dish? As he just stops and stares at you with, like, the most serious look in his eyes.
He asked Bardris that question.
Oh, sorry, not Bardris, Eider.
Oh.
My apologies. I'm reading like a note of mine in the background. It's like I'm keeping track of something, so I apologize.
I'd honestly have to say, beer roasted potato skins with cheese and meat.
Thank God. Okay, we're fine. Okay. Oh, that could have gone two ways. Either this ship could have blown up and we could have been attacked by a creature from the sea. That would have devoured the entirety of Regan Utham's castle and territories. Or we could have both been kidnapped in the next few moments and put into chains for the rest of our lives until we whittled away to a terrible end. Ah, it's a good thing you like ale. As he kind of like taps you on the shoulder and starts walking towards the ship.
So that second thing is gonna happen then?
Is he gonna follow? No, wait, what? It should be fine. If we're kidnapped, it should have happened by now. Well, actually, no. Technically, it is a Monday. No, is it a Tuesday? As he kind of like thinks for a second out loud and goes, No. It's. Oh, I don't. What day is it? As he kind of like taps his chin.
It's Thursday.
And he goes, the calendars are just never up. He nods and goes, wait, it's Thursday. Oh, that we might be kidnapped. 50-50 odds.
Is he?
As he nods and goes, kind of heading down below the deck, kind of looking at the crew, and then coming to a stop, and then kind of quietly walking through as he eyes up a few of the members, whispering back as you hear down below Dom and Ned kind of talking to Utval. You hear Bard just kind of whisper in your ear, Eider, go, so, you walked into the belly of a ship like this, looked at these fellas, and thought, I want to be here as a guy with a 2 billion bounty?
Honestly, the bounty thing has, like, very much been in the background for a while.
Oh, God, you have no idea how bad you've been hunted. I've been fucking throwing people off left and right because of this.
I just kind of shrug and say, I'm twice damned already. I have a lot to deal with.
He nods and goes, I know, but your cousin is going to be real angry when he finds out about the rumors I've been spreading. Also, in bad news, your cousin's spreading rumors about you as well, Eider.
Well then, fuck him.
I don't plan to. That doesn't happen. Well, actually, Eider, an armor you're wearing, is that Sun's tier armor?
Yes.
Alright, we're both safe, thank God.
Also, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's nothing new. That was gonna happen one way or another. Now the question is it gonna eat you? Oh, I mean, no, I mean, yeah, if it's going to love you. Yeah, as he kind of looks at you, gives you kind of like a side glance, and then continues walking.
I just give him, like, a reproachful glare and just, like, lovingly tap Dragathax and was like, don't worry, this guy's fucking nuts. I know you wouldn't hurt me.
You feel as the armor kind of like gives a light vibration to it, almost like a purr as you continue following after. As the two of you come down, seeing as Utval's kind of explaining a bit about the fire spider and where they found the creature, how they managed to convince it, or how they managed to get it in the cage the first time without killing the druid, and how unfortunately it cost the druid's life the second time. As you kind of come down the stairs, Eider, with Bard just behind the big book of languages on his back as he goes, passes you up and looks up at Utval and Dom and Ned and goes, oh, thank God, we were expecting to find you two in cages.
I wasn't.
No, we were simply discussing the jobs in town, and I was questioning potential assistance from Utfall in regards to removing this. And Dom, like, taps the bell. I'm imagining they came in just as, like, Dom was bringing it up.
Yep.
Do you know how powerful this thing is, Aether? You are more familiar with magical terms than I am.
The term I'd use is fucking impossible.
Bard just gives
Very
a light
optimistic.
scoff at that. And kind of looks at it and kind of walks past Bard, just looks at the belt and goes, No, he's actually right. Never mind. As he kind of walks past towards the cage.
You're telling
Yeah.
me this can't be removed.
Yeah, that's a technical term. Fucking impossible. That's about the level of effort that it requires.
Not surprised. I mean, you need arcane casters to remove powerful items, and well, those are kind of in short supply the world over.
Mm.
Don't worry, Dom. We'll work on it.
Dom looks. I mean, Dom's obviously keeping a straight face, but there's a little bit of a deflation in his shoulders as he's very unhappy to have this belt.
There's one person you could try. Good luck meeting with them, though. The leader of the Tabaxi, the Rakshasa lands, is supposedly a very powerful caster. Arcane at that.
Bard just nods along and looks back at you as he opens his book and starts flipping to the page. As you can tell, the spider is speaking and seems to be saying, the little bits you catch, Eider, are all some things about being short, a meal, and delicious. Yeah, you kind of fill in the rest to not be good. This what the spider is saying, Ignite, as you kind of listen to the creature speak. Bard just kind of looks back, though, and goes, Also, I would mention, you could use a god soul. The Grunagas are notorious for managing, trapping creatures into their items, and gods aren't uncommon for that. I mean, gods are just beasts, after all.
You know, there is. I mean, after the Snowbeard War, they did put Sarah. Well, I'm not going to say his name. The big one's soul. You know what I'm talking about. Into an item. Although the person carrying it, good luck getting it away from him.
Bard just kind of speaks up and goes, Sarazeki would work. You could try the anvil. He's recently developed a holy site. That should allow you to, in theory, meditate and do it.
I feel like Seki would be easier. I mean, the anvil's known for being able to 1v1 apex monsters.
I mean, it's also a lot more peaceful.
Also, Seki's an item, so if you can get the item, I mean...
It's more who has the item that's the issue.
Oh, you should know him. He's related to the Snowbeard lands. Big, angry guy, barbarian, rages a lot. And his name's Alfred or something.
Yep.
No one's seen him in a while. Wonder what happened to the guy.
I just like mutters under his breath. Hopefully he's dead.
No, I feel like we'd know if he was dead. Probably just got lost. Probably just went on a conquest in the Underdark or something.
Bard just kind of pulls out a little tea set out of his pack and starts pouring what looks to be a brown liquid out of his teapot. As he taps it lightly a few times, the symbol on the side changing from what looks to be a green tea leaf to a brown coffee bean, and starts pouring it and kind of lightly pushes it forward and goes, I can't believe it, Eider, but you were actually right. It did actually ask for coffee.
That's what you get for doubting me, Bargis. I'm amazing as a linguist.
Kind of looks back at you and gives a glare and goes, yeah, what else did he ask for?
Probably our souls, something like that. But that's, kind of a given.
Oh, they don't eat souls, they just eat flesh.
And looks back at Bargis, or looks back at Eider and goes, I can't help but wonder about what would have happened if I just not come back here and you'd stuck your hand in there with coffee. As you see the spider kind of sip, lean down and start to sip at the coffee, almost seeming to suck it in immediately as the creature does. Give me a second. Bard just looks back at Ned and goes, oh, and Ned, you'll want one of these here soon. As he holds out the teapot.
I will take the teapot.
As he hands, or as you do, kind of smiles at you and goes, Use this when you need it. As he kind of gives you a light smile, and you watch as the spider, immediately after finishing the cup of coffee, falls over unconscious.
Ah.
He's
How,
not dead, is he?
Barges looks up and goes, "Wait, you wanted me to kill it, right?"
it
No.
better not be dead.
No, we wanted it silk, remember?
Ned, let me see the teapot.
Dom begins pulling
I will
out.
hand him the teapot.
I have an antitoxin if needed, and like pulls a vial out of his bag, kind of.
Oh, Domnander, oh, you sweet summer Chad, what I just did wouldn't even touch it. Oh, as he like lightly taps the pot a few times and changes it again, and then lightly pours and pushes it forward into the room, or into the ice cage. The creature immediately gets up, and you hear it start screaming in Primordial, suddenly as if it was speaking in Ignan a moment ago. Why can't I understand myself? Wait! What? What the hell? I was dead. I saw the light. There was a fluffy cat. It was angry.
Ah, you're not dead.
We saved you.
Looks over at you, and Bard just kind of smiles back up as he hands the teapot back up to Ned. As the creature kind of looks about and goes, You saved me?
Yes.
You killed me! You brought that... As he looks at Bard, just like backs away a few steps from it and goes, You brought that monster! I saw...
Okay.
It made me relive every creature I killed. It made me live it as if I was the being torn apart and eaten. I saw everything.
Don't worry, we threatened him to make sure that he saved you. It was a misunderstanding. We didn't want you to die or get hurt.
Give me a moment. Sorry, I'm sorry to do this to you either. Bard just looks back at you in Primordial and goes, What do you mean? No, you didn't.
I just like look at Bargis as like, take the hint. And Dwarven.
The spider just starts spitting out this fiery venom onto the ground and angrily starts bashing against the ice cage as hard as it can. As Bargis looks back at you and goes, See, this is why I wanted to kill it.
All right, allow me. I'm back away from the cage. What do you want me to call you, big one?
The creature is just aggressively attacking the cage and spitting out a fiery venom onto the ice that seems to sizzle and fall away.
You don't want to make me do this again. I did it the first time. I'll do it again. As I kind of like put my hand toward the battle axe.
The creature stops for a second, looks behind. As you all look behind, you see as Barger seems to be taking the teapot back from Ned, and the creature seems to immediately stop and just stares at Utval and waits.
So, do you have something you'd like to be called, or am I just calling you Spider?
The creature kind of looks at you for a moment, and as it looks for a second. Here, give me a moment. I didn't have a name prepared for an Inferno Spider off the top of my head. Give me a second.
I thought you just go like the most fire creatures that are barely sentient, like fire, flame, blaze.
Oh god, no, that's no fun.
Where they usually go. That's like the base fire genasi names. That's all they do.
Small break time so I can feed my cats.
Yeah, you know what? We'll take a quick 5-minute break as the players... Alright, as you ask the spider its name, the Inferno Spider, as it speaks back and states... Flamma primi fili. And yes, I will write that out before you ask. And no, that's probably not proper pronunciation. I failed Latin, so... but roughly that translates into common as Flame of the First Sun.
Okay. Sure. Now, you don't want to be in a cage. I can easily assume. Yes? Clearly.
The creature speaks and goes, I would sooner burn your entire bloodline in the everything that exists around us for miles.
Yeah, that's great. We're as fire immune as you are. So anyway, you want to be out free. I don't want you eating another of my crew members.
Well, then
You
don't
wouldn't be in-
taste as good.
Yeah, you wouldn't be in a cage if you didn't try to eat him in the first place.
You wouldn't be here if you hadn't caged me.
So here's the thing. You've been honest with me. People want to buy your silk. I don't want you to be in a cage. What the cage is made of is probably worth more than you are.
Just
Creature,
look over and nod.
creature just stays quiet, looking at you, waiting to see what your point.
You stop causing trouble. Don't cause future trouble. You don't have to be in the cage.
Creature, give me a diplomacy check.
Let's see. I have a plus 21 to diplomacy.
Damn.
I am built to talk.
Iskandel.
No kidding.
Let's see, 39.
39. The creature kind of looks at you, looks back at the party, looks back at you. I would sooner die than serve anything of a lesser creature.
It's unfortunate. Have to sell you to something lesser then. I was hoping for a new friend. Could have gave you the best food, coffee whenever you wanted, whatever else.
It
But if
starts
that's-
speaking and saying something as it's about to. You see as the it seems almost as if the drink that it was given by Barger seems to wear off as it starts speaking once more in ignorance, saying or kind of only catching a few not so savory words that seems to speak towards you. Something about insinuating you with a large kraken. As you kind of get the gist of it, Utvo.
Well, it's unfortunate. Well, it looks like we're not getting your silk peacefully, so you can either wrestle it and you can buy the silk after, or you can buy the creature. Cage
Heal
does,
up.
the cage does not come with the creature unless you buy it separately.
I cannot afford that cage.
I figured.
Bar just nods along with that.
I'm probably the cage is probably a wedding gift to Regan.
Yeah, I have no doubt that that's not in the cards. I don't suppose I could offer medical assistance to whoever does wrestle it. I mean, I could probably, but
You can talk to the raiders upstairs. if you
that
can get-
doesn't sound like that's going to go over well.
They're probably gonna ask for a lot of money to even try.
Bar just
Definitely.
Bar just looks at the other two and goes, "Do either of you know necromancy magic?"
Don't even joke about that, as I stare.
No, not bringing back the druid. I'm talking about if we kill the creature, we can take its spider or its gland that spews out the material, and in theory, make a macabre version on the ship that we could use to pump out the silk. As long as we can create the material to transfer through to it in a nutritional format that the silk is needed to keep its fineness. In theory, you should be able to do it. It's a torture for the spirit, but I mean, I personally don't have an issue with it. I imagine Kez and Anok may, but
Adjusting the price, just told a merchant he can make infinite silk. Hold on.
Barges, who's clueless, any social key beyond like the idea of like
I
what like
cross
facts
out
are.
the 5 and change it for a 9-0.
If there's necromancy magic involved.
And she goes, well, the problem is, how do we get it out of the cage? Is our question. The bottom of it's ice, the top of it's ice, the sides are ice, and the bars are thick. We're gonna have to squish the creature.
I don't like any of these suggestions. They all seem just kind of a cavalcade of bad ones. Number one, elemental spirits don't typically cleave back to the plane.
Bard just looks at you and kind of shrugs and goes, well, I mean, we don't know what happens. Not many have gone to the plane to test it. We don't know if they're reborn there or if they just vanish completely. And I'm not looking to test it myself, and I don't have any research out that I know of that has ever stated so.
I
Would
also don't want to because, I mean, Kez aside, this sounds horrific.
He nods.
Would it not be easier, not the easiest, but easier to simply find a magic user or a spell scroll or potion with the effect of a charm? It is intelligent. You could magically charm it and convince it to produce silk that way.
I just like think for a moment and say, hold on, I think I have an idea.
Yeah, Dom's just kind of like listening to the more absurd suggestions, and it's just like, just charm it.
Bardris is already halfway through his macabre design, and he's like drawing up.
There's always option 3.
Sully, what?
There's always the other option. You build it a big enclosure, you live there, you feed it, you knock it out when you eat it, you just collect the spider web it built, you have your silk.
Oh, see, I also said we should just go looking for spider lairs and collect the webs. I feel like it'd be easier than all this. And Dom gestures towards the cage.
Again, you're looking at fire giant lands or fiend lands.
Hold on a minute.
Or
I like talk it over with Bardris. What is the protocol for like collecting silk from something?
Kind of looks at you and goes, I don't know, I've never had to do it. Not one of the things in my adventures that ever came up.
You don't have like a diagram of this thing's anatomy or something?
You know, I don't. That's not how it works. It's...
What, your
So-
bullshit book of bullshit?
what you do is when you wrestle it down, you grab it around the thorax, you squeeze really hard. It'll hurt the creature, but the silk will come out, at least some of it will.
All right.
Oh,
Well-
can I?
Yes?
Can
Let-
I
let
roll?
me in there.
But no.
What do you mean no? How else am I supposed to wrestle?
Go ahead, Dom Nender, what's up?
I was gonna ask. I have a thought I know out of character, but I don't know if Dom would know it. So I'm asking to roll like a nature survival in the time Dom has spent in the wilderness. Some kind of roll to see if he's like seen how spiders in the wild have produced webbed, or is potentially even like, I don't know, had an encounter
Yeah.
with like a spider he squished or something.
Give me a knowledge, nature, or survival. Hey, does Ned want to pipe up at all during this, or is he just going to watch these
Yeah,
people
I'm
fail
sure.
at everything?
Maya, which one did you roll?
I was wondering if while I
Uh,
spent time in the
really
wilderness, if
survival.
there were any spiders I seen.
Yeah, you've seen, you would have seen spiders amongst the land if you want to give me a knowledge,
my
nature, or
God.
survival as well. If you've got
This is
something in
my
mind.
second nat 2 of the day. Six.
oh. I was gonna say I shift to motivate wisdom to give you a +5, but if that's how badly you rolled,
Yeah, it would.
I rolled
been,
a 9,
A
a
12.
12.
You
yeah,
would give me
with a +9.
Okay. Oh,
solid 11, but no, it's just a 6 with that nat 1.
um,
Darn.
you know, you've seen spiders make spider webs, both the two of you. In theory, yeah, if you squish a spider, if it had web building up, it could theoretically have it could shoot out of its rear end. You could also force any that was in there to pop out if you squished it. However, as you kind of think back, the creatures that, or the few spiders that had the largest webs, you know, in your unfortunate, like, ninja fighting ghosts experience, you know, as the joke goes whenever you go into your attic, you know, usually the spiders out in the wild or in large open areas seem to do the best and seem to create large webs. Fire spiders, or inferno spiders, none of you have ever seen out in the wild personally, only hearing stories about the creatures. And the few that they're not usually just like hanging out in trees creating large webs. These creatures typically like to keep their webs deep underground and mostly for their eggs.
the worst part is I, as a person, know how to collect spider web, but it wouldn't
Yeah.
make goddamn sense for me to know that.
No, fair.
Yeah, no, Justin, I'm in the same boat of knowing a thing factually about how
I
they
know
got
how to
spider
do
webs
it,
in
but,
medieval
like,
times.
It does involve half what I said. You do have to hold it down while you do
Yeah,
it.
you have to put a hold of it, and
It's-
then you literally just pull it out right out of them.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, spiders, you catch them when they're spinning their web, hold them down, usually spider size, and if you keep pulling at the thread, it keeps coming out until it's done. You
Yep.
get all the
They
thread.
had like
Yep, that's nasty. That's why I don't know these things, because you kill spiders. We do not keep them. They are not pets. That is disgusting.
no. So I think
Yeah,
Dom is.
It's a thing for silk spiders. It's,
No, yeah, I'm familiar.
I think Dom's hearing all this over, like, obviously it's an item for him, but I think he's realized how much time they've been burning sitting here. It's like, Look, I appreciate the effort. I feel it would be easier to either put a pin in this for a trip to the Fire Giant lands to find some of these, or for us to simply figure out another way to obtain the silk. I do not want to be dealing with this, and gestures at the very angry spider in the cage right now when there are other things to get to. Unless this is our only means of obtaining the silk you need.
Well, it's very, very valuable. Two, I think I have an idea.
Which is?
I'm going to paralyze it.
If you need help paralyzing, Dom begins going through his poisons.
Not permanently, don't worry.
No, I have things that should be temporary, I think.
I'm just saying, you injure it, you're buying the damn thing.
It's not injury. How resistant to poison do you think? It's an elemental. That might be a problem.
Cannot be applied to.
Yeah, it's technically a creature made of fire, technically.
Yeah.
So.
Right. It slowly puts the drow poison away.
I just kind of fiddle in my bag and just start slotting bullshit into the back of my hand. And then I reach out and just point a finger at the little inferno spider. And my friend can make me a will save.
Oh. As Barges in the background just kind of exits stage right, as he realizes, hearing that if you kill it, or injure it, you have to pay for it, realizing he killed it and does not have any coin on him currently.
Yep, not what I meant. Good enough.
As he leaves, 10.
Yeah, he's paralyzed.
As you turn, a beam of light kind of flashing from Eider's gauntlet. As it does, the creature seems to almost, its eyes start to kind of glow for a moment, and kind of changing from the yellowish to almost a blue color as the flames seem to slowly die down, kind of smoldering in its eyes. The creature kind of just starts standing there, not really moving at all, as the flames seem to slightly die down a little bit. Not to a point where they're extinguishing, but just enough to where it's clearly visible that this creature is now almost not moving and relaxing.
Yeah, I quickly swap something out on the back of my gloves and say, "All right, let me in. This isn't gonna last forever."
Well, if you die, so I open the cage.
There's not really anything open. He can just kind of fit through the bars. This creature is large. Eider is medium, so he can fit through the bars pretty comfortably.
Even better, I don't have to open shit, so if he dies in there, the cage will be shut.
Nope, the creature can't get out. As Eider kind of squeezes through.
Dom is just prepared to have to reach in with his 10-foot reach and snag Eider out of there.
The snake kind of on Ned's body kind of seems to just watch with anticipation, a look of interest, and Ned, you can definitely feel a little bit of hunger as the snake seems to be curious about if it can eat Eider, if he dies, kind of watching on.
Yeah.
I'll do my. I don't know. I fucking punch its thorax to try and get it to spew some web out.
All right, give me a base attack plus your strength. Let's see what you got.
Hang on, this is to see if I find the gift.
Man's just punching a spider.
I guess actually jumping on it would probably be a lot better to use my fucking body weight and the weight of Dragothax, because I don't have nearly enough strength to just fucking Shoryuken this thing into shitting itself.
I mean, you are uppercutting this, so I was gonna say, if you got a plan here, man, let's see what you got. Are you gonna climb the bars and try and get on the top?
Yeah, I'd use the soul meld to kind of airwalk over the top of it, so I don't have to fucking climb check.
I was about to ask.
Just gonna drop bodily onto it.
Okay. I was saying, are we doing a Spider-Man jump here? All right, no worries. As you start to kind of walk into, kind of shimmy your way into the bars and begin to float above it as you look at the bottom of the creature, realizing it's tall enough that if you tried to uppercut it from the ground, you're pretty sure you might actually miss as you kind of start to walk above it and realizing it's going to be quicker to fall on it than anything else. As you kind of get up to right above its thorax, are you just dropping off and giving the people's elbow?
Yes.
As Eider kind of like lightly taps his elbow twice, puts it to the or puts it out in front of it or out to his side, and then jumps down on the creature full on. You watch as he goes landing. Shit. Well, I guess normally this would be a reflex save, but it's paralyzed.
Just it kind of just.
How much do you
takes the
weigh?
impact. Well, with
all
the
your stuff?
armor, that's like 600 pounds.
Yeah. Let's see. I gotta double check something for this. Oh no.
If it makes you feel any better, the people's elbow does do additional damage if he's paralyzed.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah. What do you So with your armor, 600 pounds plus what? How much you weigh?
Yeah, it's I weigh 202. The armor is like 450, I think.
Okay, so it's about 670. We'll round to 700 for miscellaneous stuff you carry on yourself. All right, roll me 30 d10.
Oh!
He doesn't have the carrying capacity to carry you. I don't think.
And Eider once again coup de grace as a creature.
Wait, hold up. Let me double check something. Before you roll, let me double check. I did realize large has a higher carry capacity. Give me a moment. What is the large modifier? I can never remember.
Also, generally, it's a large quadruped, so even higher.
Yeah, I'm looking it up.
It's technically an octopet.
Here it is. Okay, so it's times 3. So let me see. I hate to say it, Eider. It can actually as you go to land on it. Give me a ride check. As you land on the top of this creature. Basically, landing onto its thorax, you do not make a dent in the poor creature's backside as you land on it. The beast easily capable of maintaining your weight as you land down on it. Let's see if you slide off the side or if you manage to kind of stay on the thorax as your elbow bounces off the thorax.
13.
13? Just barely as you manage to kind of like scrabble yourself, realizing you're starting to slide backwards, kind of climb, scrabbling to grab yourself and pull yourself up. You're now sitting on the thorax of this large spider that looks completely unfazed as you lightly tap where your elbow hit. You can see a little dent but no piercing damage or any bludgeoning damage, sadly, that went through.
I just gotta sigh for a moment. Pull out like another thing, like put it in like the left gauntlet, and like place a hand on its ass and say, "I'm sorry, this is gonna suck."
No.
And well, I'll just roll a d20 to make sure I don't roll a 1.
Oh no.
Didn't roll a 1.
Almost.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
almost, but that totally hits. So yeah, I'll just I'm gonna hit it in the ass with force damage to try and force the thing out. And to like help out, I'm going to also use the bull rush insert, so like it also just get like squished against the ground as well.
All
Make
right.
sure this shit comes out.
Give me an attack. Oh no.
I already did the attack.
Oh.
Just gotta do the damage.
Oh, okay. Let's see what you got. As you kind of slam into this creature, you feel as its body drops beneath it, the legs kind of giving out as the impact kind of reverberates throughout it. Let me give it a fortitude save to see if it does. We'll say... what's your mod, by the way, Eider, for your attack?
Should be 7 plus or 4 plus 2. 6.
6, okay.
Oh,
Fucking
that one.
meats. Oh my god. And that one,
Oh my
that hurts. As the creature's body reverberates and about 15 feet of fiery spider silk sploosh out against the wall, kind of smacking against it in a wet sound as it like lands down, almost it's still rope sticking out of the back end of the creature. As you look down with a smile on your face, the pile slightly a little taller than Eider when he's on the ground.
I just do my best, like scramble off, use like the air step boots to like break my fall from like not face planning. and just like quickly gather it up and get the fuck out of this thing before it gets unparalyzed.
Say it's a will save or it's a fortitude save for the paralyze.
Will save.
Oh fuck you! Had to be a will save.
Nope.
Dude, these dice rolls tonight. Me and Dom are having the worst of time.
We're in this together, DM.
As you kind of grab the kind of scuttle down, the creature seems to try lightly twitch. But as you kind of wait for a second, pausing to see if it's going to move, as you see the creature stays paralyzed, you head behind it. Are you just gonna lop off the silk, or are you just gonna pull and run?
I'm just gonna pull and run.
Oh, I hate you for that. Alright. Can I actually save? Oh, thank you. As you turn to run with the silk, you feel as it was almost lopped off immediately by the creature, as its body seems to immediately react, as you begin to pull away. Actually, wait, hold up. Let me check paralysis. Before we go with that, because I don't remember... Is paralysis in D&D ruling just you can't attack and move, or is it full?
Oh, you have a strength and dex of 0 technically while you're paralyzed. Like you're physically immobilized in every possible way.
Oh, you are considered helpless. Okay, then never mind. Disregard that fortitude save. You can keep going, unfortunately, for the creature. As you grab and start running, as you start rushing to the edge of the cage, getting to it, the creature seems to stare at you, still the light blue fires kind of coming through, as Eider shimmies through the bar, still holding on to the rope as it pulls from the creature. Do any of the rest of you gonna do assist, or are you just gonna watch as Eider starts sprinting for the edge?
I'm firing. I'll grab and start pulling. This is fucking...
Yeah, I would like to help Eider.
Alright. Each of you give me a d20 plus your strength modifier for those who are assisting.
I will be switching my aura. There's a strength boost aura. Motivate strength
Let
plus
her rip.
5 on all strength
16.
checks and strength-based skill
16?
checks.
Okay, alright.
So 21 technically.
That 16's a 21.
Okay, oh, that's a 21. Okay. For the first one, let's see if the creature, as Ned grabs hold and yanks, let's see if this first one saves. Okay, just keep going.
I got a 19. Just keep it
19.
going.
All right. Let me do another one. God damn this poor thing. Oh, this hurts me. Oh, there we go. As you pull the second, as Dom looks to go and help, as Utfall pulls with all his might, you pull a total of. Give me a moment. Total of 50 feet of this rope as you pull, and before the creature manages to break from the save, and you see as its back thorax almost sucks in as if it's clenching its ass immediately. The creature then again spitting some strange words at you in Ignan as it seems angry, biting at the bars. As you manage to pull the last of the 50 foot of Inferno spider silk out. The creature staring at you. Ned and Utfall, are you fire resistant?
Yeah.
I'm firing.
Okay. Then you have no worries. Eider, I think you are also fire resistant, correct? Yep. So yeah.
Also, I'm holding with Drake effects.
Yep. So you're all good. Then yep. As you pull the silk, kind of setting it in the pile, bringing it over as you do, circling it up. You have now 50 foot of this Inferno spider silk.
Either I'll give you two choices. You either pay for it or you give me 30 feet and you can keep the 20 for free.
How much would I need to do Dom's outfit?
The bull robes, or are you just trying to add this into the item to ensure the effect?
I guess like ballpark, like what would it take to like do the full robes?
Full robes, it would take the full 50 feet. To do it just to get the effect, you need about 10 feet.
Okay.
But you would have to find something else to be the mainstay item or material for the cloak itself.
I will say, Dom
robes.
literally lived in the wilderness for several years. He does not need full pristine silk clothes.
They will
He
be
is-
in no time.
He is going to get blood
magical.
and stains and battle excrement all over them all the time.
To be fair, these things would be self-cleaning. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but if it's that hot,
nice.
or I guess
I
it
will
does
also
cool
say
down,
Dom
that's
is not fully fire immune. And unless the items for sure give fire immunity, if they are very hot, they will just burn me.
If
It
you're,
is.
oh good.
Oh no, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna
You go.
ask because I just had a brain or a bit of a remembrance here. This is the one that you're planning to add the scales into as the mainstay. The silk is just to get the extra effect, correct?
Well, the silk, or sorry, the scales is actually like the ancillary one because I don't want to make it like full light armor because
Oh,
then
gotcha. Okay.
like Dom will like get fucked over for
Yeah.
their monk abilities.
Yeah. Okay. Got you. Okay. Making sure. So that's why you're looking for something else. I got you. Okay.
Yeah. I wanted something like could feasibly like be like you know an enchanted set of clothing like to actually give like the AC bonus. Um, I like kind of like look like I kind of like stroke like my beard and say, "Can I give you a counter offer? What if I
You
come
could-
back
oh.
and help you do another one set of this?"
This spider's going to be gone within a few days.
Ah, damn.
More than
Let's do it
likely.
right now.
I don't think the spider has more silk to make right now.
As it glares at you, stop kind of not slowing its attack.
I could heal it.
You can heal it. It's not going to let it make more silk. It's not.
Well, I didn't exactly ask the first time. Point taken though.
Yeah, as the Utvol blinks, because Utvol's more thinking, creatures can only make so much where they need to like eat and replenish and
Yeah. I imagine this is like hundreds of thousands of gold if it's fucking actually trying to buy it.
50 foot. I mean, yes. The silk on its own, about a foot of this stuff, can cost almost a small town's worth of gold, like a full year's worth of tax. And that's most people don't even see the material then. So yeah, it's quite expensive.
How much?
You can give me a price check specifically.
Yeah, because we do have party funds as well, and we do have the Orichalcum chime, the platinum chime.
True. Yep.
That's worth a lot. And there's also the scroll of masterwork calligraphy, and I'm not sure what else we do with it other than sell it.
Oh yeah, we also didn't collect the gold bounty from the tomb, did we? There was an
I
actual
think we
quest
did.
associated with
No,
it.
we did. 40k GP's right here.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's out of the party funds because no one mentioned splitting it, so I just chucked it in there.
Ah, yes, I didn't spend any money technically.
I was saying we didn't have technically officialize who got what specific item, so I just have all of it in the party funds right now.
What were you saying, Ned?
I was gonna say we could also offer to put in a good word to Utham.
That's also
That'd
true.
be a change for you lot.
My mother is his wife. What better word could you give me?
I mean, I'm basically his son, so I feel like if I give the approval, it
It's like,
makes a
I'm his
difference.
son now. What do you mean?
Hey, he didn't raise you,
Oh no, we're
and he's
starting.
having a kid, so you know he's gonna be over both of us soon enough. The younger kids always get the better treatment.
What's the appraise check, Dom?
Me?
Yeah, you're the one who asked.
No, I thought.
Did you want? Or were you suggesting
Oh,
I
Ida
can
to do
roll
it?
Sorry, I can, but I thought you were having Lodos roll it.
No,
I mean, I can, but
no, you're the one who suggested
Appraise?
it,
I
so I was
don't-
asking you.
Yeah, I guess. Okay. Sorry, that was a misunderstanding on my end. I don't have a great appraise. Oh, 19.
19.
I actually rolling good.
Yeah. So this would be considered quite a valuable item. You're looking at a spool of this would go for which a spool is about 10 feet usually, typically in D&D, I believe. Anywhere between 100 to 350,000 GP. So as you kind of do the math on that, kind of bringing that down, that brings it down to about a foot is about 10,000 GP a piece. Or up to 30,000 or 35,000 GP, depending on the market.
Yeah, I think Dom, being the party's like accountant, is running the math on like some of it, and like even with the items, kind of looks at Eider and just goes, "I would take the 20 feet, and I'm sure we could find more of a different kind of silk or a different material that could service the core of it."
I just kind of like nod and say, yeah. Plus, didn't think you might want the notoriety of wearing that much wealth at the same time.
I don't generally like to be the center of attention in terms of showing off. No, it kind of undermines me seeming underwhelming intentionally. And he like gestures to his like nice but simple clothes, the fact that he's unarmed, the fact that he doesn't have weapons. I might look like a merchant, which would, I guess, give some level of protection, but if they think I'm a merchant or a noble, they're also going to want to ransom me all the time.
Well, that amount of silk is just not heard of. Like, if they knew what it was.
Precisely.
So, yeah, fair offer. Take 20 feet and you can have the rest.
Alright. I guess we'll like line it up to get it cut.
Yeah.
Cut off.
Yeah.
Taking
I
your
can reach
time.
out.
Go ahead.
Oh, I've got an easy way of cutting it if like that's the issue. 'Cause I've got, adamantine tools.
Oh, no, it's just measuring, motherfucker. I'm measuring your 20 feet.
Oh, fair enough.
As the two of you kind of work at it, taking a little bit of time cutting it, and finally cutting it through. The stuff is still on fire. I will say, it is actively 200 degrees and glowing, as well as lighting anything it touches. Noting that though it rests on the base of the boat, you do notice Eider, Dom, and Ned. The boat does not catch flame whatsoever. Nor does Utval seem at all concerned.
Well, that's good. I have sell to the good old world here then. Ugh.
Who's carrying the fiery silk?
I guess I will.
Do you have a bag of holding?
I say,
Yeah, but
Dom did get a bag of holding, but
Oh,
I
yeah,
just couldn't be the one to put it in.
I can put it in for you.
Yeah, I think so. I guess Dom will like see Eider looking at it, kind of pulls out the bag of holding he recently bought, and like opens it up.
Admittedly, I can pull
Oh.
the most gangster move possible. I just like tap like my chest, like a small doorway appears. I like walk into it with like the silk, and I just like motion back to Job. It's like pick up the cube, and I'll be busy in the meantime. I just like close the door behind me.
Wait, what'd you walk into?
Little pocket dimension.
Damn.
Did you
I
just
think that's the first time that Dom and Ned saw that ever.
you just order your armor to pick up the okay?
I just
As
like walked into my armor, basically.
you
Just,
all
like,
see Eider's helmet, like the changes to where his eyes were glowing and the mouth used to show his like face sticking through it. It now closes over with a slit of blackened metal that covers where his face was. His eyes also kind of close over with little red glowing rubies that seem to almost begin to glow immediately. The little bits of skin that you could see in Eider's armor, very few pieces, like mostly around his like midriff and his like towards his knees as well as his face and neck, immediately covers in this blackened metal and almost completely encloses itself. And the armor walks over to the silk very robotically and awkwardly and picks up the material, kind of grabbing it very like with one hand a little bit lower and kind of like straight like awkwardly shifting about with it, trying to get a good handle on it, and then starts to bring it over to you, Dom, slowly siphoning it into the thing.
I think Dom's very intrigued by this display, a little bit off-put at the suddenness of it, but he seems to be kind of watching curiously and very... I mean, he is fire resistant, so he's not, like, being overly scared, but he's being sure to, like, keep his hands out of the way because he's not fully fire immune.
To clarify, I was going into my workshop.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah, I was using the arbor to like go into the workshop and just like with the silk. That way it wouldn't be an issue like transporting it.
my apologies. I misunderstood you. Let me rewrite that a little bit. As the armor kind of picks up the material, looking at you as you kind of open up your bag of holding, Dom, the armor kind of turns towards the now what looks to be a large door that seems to open up as it seems to start to walk over with the material, vanishing within it, and a few moments later coming back out as if nothing has happened. As Eider seems to reappear in his armor as the material or as the blackened metal chunks pull away.
Dom will just
what I'm
close
doing
the
tonight.
bag and put it back on his side.
Nope. My apologies.
Just saw that and he didn't heal the spider. All right.
Oh, you want me to heal the spider? 1 second.
Well, I don't want a lasting injury. That's going to lower
But yes, if it's for Reagan Newtham, it
and
needs to be
a
healed.
worse gift if it's injured.
Fair enough. Yeah, like heal the spider. Does it technically have like the fire healing property or no?
It does not heal from fire. It is immune to fire.
Gotcha.
It just takes half damage, yeah, basically. Or sorry, yeah, no, yeah, it's just outright immune. That's it. That does not get any special bonuses, sadly. So nope. You got something else planned for it?
Yep. I just kind of like sigh and like look at it and say, I can paralyze you and heal you like that, or you can just let me heal you. What's it gonna be?
The creature glares at you and tries to bite at the bars where you're standing.
I got it. Kind of shrugs. Hard way it is. Hey, the sad part is like we can keep doing this until like it fails. Like
That's an 8.
Yeah, that fails.
Uh,
I just like wait for it to like bite at the bars, like, and then like paralyze it. Just like reach forward and like just pump it. Like how far under is it? I guess.
You'll only knocked down by 15 HP.
Okay, I was like making sure. So yeah, I could very easily like heal that up. Heals 16.
As you kind of walk into the cage after the creature seems to almost stand still again, mellowing its eyes once more. As you walk up to it, lightly tapping the creature, the little bruise on the back of its thorax where you landed seems to lightly heal, and the creature seems almost unfazed as you kind of step back out of the cage.
All right, there we go.
Alright. With that sorted, are we going to take on one of the quests?
Sure. Or we could wait, I guess. I was out of character. I'd stare at the time clock.
I
Yeah.
mean, I was trying to at least initiate that so we could pick it up next session, to be honest.
I wasn't sure if we wanted to do like downtime between to like finish out the 6 months or just have like
Oh, I
another-
guess that's true. We could do that.
As the party kind of starts to contemplate looking at each other, Dom, Nender, and Ida kind of considering what to do. Ned, what do you, as you kind of listen to these two, are you wanting to do anything in the background? I think we've lost Ned.
The Ned is dead.
I think the joint took him.
The snake got
No.
him.
No.
What was the question?
I asked, as you see Eider and Dom kind of debating on whether to go back to the church or to go and look at one of the quests and see about looking into the information further. What does Ned want to do anything else, or does he have an opinion either way?
Yeah, nothing either way. Just go with the rest of the group.
Okay. As all right.
I think, if nothing else, getting more information to go back to Kez with is going to be easier than having to go talk about the options, get to ask questions we don't have answers to, get the information, and then make a plan.
All right, fuck it. Let's go to the village.
Dom looks a little bit surprised, but then seems to grin a bit pleased and is like, "Oh, the village. More than happy to lead the way." And cracks his knuckles and like his neck and like essentially looks ready to,
Yeah.
throw down. We can get information, scout the undead. If I see one of the cultists, I will ask and help in apprehending them. And like slowly, like gestures to a thing of rope he has on his side.
I just kind of nod. I was like, let's see if they're resistant to my tricks as well, if need be.
Well, Uthval, I think this might be us parting ways unless you wanted to assist. They are a thorn in Reagan Utham's side, but this is a bit of a personal mission, I will be honest.
If you really need the help and I'm free, you can come find me. If it goes bad, I gotta go sell some things. I have to go talk to a world leader now.
Yep, you're welcome. Goodbye.
The creatures themselves might use some assistance, but as for the cultists, I think we've got it.
If you catch anything cool, you're welcome to come sell it to me.
We'll keep that in mind.
As
All
you
right.
lot kind of head above deck, kind of leaving Udfall down below, looking at the spider, as well as kind of looking at or inspecting the silken rope. As you head up, some of the crew on the middle deck kind of seem to stare at you a little bit more focused as you pass by. None of them really saying anything as you lot finally kind of pass through and head up to the top deck and then off the ship into the market once more. As you head into the market, a few of the merchants seem to kind of be eyeing you, but none seem to kind of reach out or call to you a lot as they see you coming off of the black-bellied ships and kind of stepping ashore. The mountain giant that had kind of been watching you earlier, Eider, now seems to have also vanished with his group, kind of seemingly having closed up shop and moved on, as their market section seems to have been taken on by a few other frost giants.
We're never going back there. That was Black Bonog's ship, apparently.
What would Dom know about Black Bonog specifically in character?
Base knowledge, the news of him supposedly putting a bounty or having put a bounty on Eider for 2 billion platinum pieces would be a big one.
Okay. That is the same.
The other one is the recent news and rumors of him being attacked by the entirety of the Storm Giant Nation and surviving. Would be another bit of big news that people have been kind of paying attention and tracking. Beyond that, you can give me a knowledge, history, or nobility to try and learn something, or see if you know anything else. But that'd be based what you've learned in character.
Yeah, roll it. I just wanted to make sure that was the guy I was thinking of out of character because it's been so long since I wrote his name in my notes.
It is
but
the
I
same
also
character.
didn't know if Dom would know anything else.
Yep. Go ahead.
So knowledge. That is. Let me find it. My thing loves to not load when I need it to. Not a great roll. Just stay 12.
12. Yeah, Black Bonog has been around for a long time. He is noted to be as big as Ogarin in some, according to some sources. Most notably of what you've been hearing around town is that he managed to put not only scare but break the Ironheart Merchant Company the last time they got involved with him, as he came out an easy victor, destroying what was left of their crew. Though there are some rumors that state that the opposite also happened, which has given a bit of a rise to the Ironheart Merchant Company and James's supposed reputation.
Gotcha. But yeah, I think Don kind of glances over and narrows his eyes a bit. I do agree it's probably best to stay away. I don't know if Utfall is involved, but risking your bounty is unwise, and I will admit he seems pleasant. He does not seem like a bad guy, but making a bad impression on Fire Giant nobility is the last thing we need to make mess of after all that happened the last time we were in the Reagan's business, and kind of thinks back to what we did at Knighton and stuff with the shenanigans.
I start looking around for Sed.
As you kind of start heading, kind of looking at the crew, Sen's still back at the ship last you had seen him. So I take care. You guys kind of take the crew, or Ned and Dom, and kind of start heading towards your guys' ship.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, as you start kind of rushing through town, heading over towards the ship, you do notice the town again. It's getting a little bit louder and a little bit more busy and active as you lot head through. But as the light singing, kind of mostly laughing and happiness amongst the town seems to be almost contagious, there seems to be little to worry about amongst those who seem to be marching and finding themselves traveling through the territory. As you lot finally find yourselves towards the docks for the airships, climbing up them. A few of the goblins kind of like staring at you at the bottom of them as you pass by Eider. That seem to give you dirty looks as you walk by, staring at Dom and Ned as well, and giving them the same looks. Though not seeming to move or do anything as they keep their blades kind of at their hips.
I'll just meet their gaze.
As you do, you see one of them sticks his tongue out and kind of pulls his eye down slightly, and then gives you the bird as in a sense of a traditional goblin insult of calling you weak.
I think Dom is just simply standing there at his 16-foot height, literally with magical fists, and is on business, and like he maintains eye contact with their magnet, but he doesn't do like anything to go out of his way. They are not worth his time.
I will say this goblin is 4 foot tall, blue skinned, and just looks like he does not care about anything.
Good for him.
As you stare him in the eyes, kind of looking him down, looking
I
down
have
at
to
him.
crane my head down.
Yeah, you do.
So it's very obvious Dom is making eye contact.
As you three start heading kind of up the dock tower and kind of heading up towards the actual dock. What's up, Ned?
Does Ned also see him giving creepy looks? Ned will like gesture like he farts in his hand and then holds his thumb down.
The goblin just kind of looks at you, and you see a little bit of a glow of red flame underneath the goblin's helmet, seeming to kind of come to life. And the dagger on his hip looks to suddenly shift to a little wand. As he looks at you with anger, and then as one of the goblins behind him like taps him on the shoulder, calming him for a second.
Don't do it, bro. You just got out of prison.
As Ned, you feel you definitely got to the goblins as you start heading up after Dom and Eider.
Dom
Mission
gives Ned a
accomplished.
subtle fist bump as they walk away.
Yeah, as the two of you catch up behind Eider, fist bumping, following after Eider, heading up the dock onto the top shipyard or shipping docks, kind of following along the long dock itself, getting to the very end, or to roughly around the end. You see as Barger's kind of seems to be sitting out front painting. Sen now sitting there next to him, a little panicked, but his bow back on, his leather gear back on, kind of as he gets himself ready, looking over at you lot.
I like gesture with a grand reveal. Here's Sen!
Sen, you're here. I thought perhaps during the battle that was the last we'd see of you.
He nods and kind of smiles at that, and as he goes to try and speak, you notice his tongue is missing.
Not ideal for you, my friend. Here. Dom will like flip to like an empty page in his book and offer it for Sen to write.
As he takes it and writes out, that creature stole my tongue. Eider, the creature stole my tongue. I can't believe it. He swallowed it.
Dom just like
I
reads
just like has
that.
a murderous fucking expression on his face reading that.
The creature, the bone wyvern that you disappeared on? Or something else?
He shakes his head no and points over to Eider.
It's something else.
What? Something else?
I don't know.
I hope it's not that the glue monster, whatever they're talking about, potentially being in the markets.
No, it's nothing to do with that.
Wonderful. Another threat then. And Dom flips back like a page and writes down a couple other notes. Tongue stealing is underlined and circled.
You also see as Sen kind of like takes the thing from you and like fills in with his own little pen or his own little feather with ink on it and goes, "Trolls heal, not healing."
Perhaps some use of acid or magic then.
Can I inspect? Well, I like walk up to like Sen, obviously. Like asks, like, can I? Maybe I can help. I don't know.
I put my hand in your mouth.
Roughly.
He looks down at you, just like waiting for you to explain, not really catching on to what you're saying.
Can I see your tongue? Like, maybe there's magic involved.
He
Maybe I
You
kind
mean the lack thereof?
of points to Ned with the pen as he was about to steal from Dom the book and write exactly that.
Yes, the place where your tongue used to be.
Nods and kind of opens his mouth wide, and as you look in, there's nothing there. It's just teeth in his mouth and his throat.
It's like not even like a wound.
Nope.
You know, I could probably write a letter for you to take, to confirm. If you went back to Regan Utham's lands, he could probably help with getting a graft to fix your tongue.
He kind of takes the book and then writes, tried, nothing works, nothing connects.
If Regan Utham's magic cannot work, that is deeply concerning. I mean, a power of that level would have to be either a very powerful caster or something like. And then his eyes kind of drift over to where Grandpa's dagger sits on Eider's belt. And Jen just does not like the implications of it being a creature with, like, that level of power. Not good.
This. Hey DM.
Uh-huh.
I think I've encountered something vaguely similar to this before.
Uh-huh.
Is this a polymorph?
Is Sen a polymorph?
No. The effect that is preventing his tongue.
No, it is not, but that is a good point. Yeah, normally that can actually be a thing you can do to people. For those who don't know, technically polymorph rules very dickish if you actually read into the how lightly they can be abused. Like you can make a dragon without a breath gland, technically. So you can if you can succeed on the polymorph check, you can turn a dragon into a dragon without breath glands. And it won't notice the difference until it goes to breathe. So
De-wings your dragon.
Yep. That's the joke. But no, as you kind of take a looking for a polymorph spell, you do not see anything in there immediately that would signal that. Also to note that Sen's own people are not the most magically inclined when it comes to their skin. They are kind of a magical battery, as that a lot of them are known to have wild magic. So would be a very dangerous and very not bright caster who'd be willing to try and carve into a living troll a spell like that to try and perma change them. But good thought, worth a shot.
Just a powerful enough caster typically overrides.
That's also true.
Sense. If you're strong enough, you get to just say fuck the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know what did this, and but if we can find a way to help, I'm sure we will. And kind of like looks at the party, but if we don't know what it is, and this is a level of magic even Utham can't.
He takes your book and writes down Apex Monster Hunter in big words and underlines it.
Apex Monster Hunter. Do you have any list of appearance or where this figure might be?
He just stares at you. Like in bewilderment as he just looks at you.
Fighter, do you know what this person looked like as Dom goes to take notes?
Yes, they didn't introduce themselves, but I guess how much do I remember about them, considering?
What they look like, not much of their voice or, like I said, other than the stuff that you had been told, specifically earlier, their name wasn't given to you, so you never caught that, and then their grandfather's name completely has been erased, as well as the whole story about their grandfather.
What is that?
Yeah, so pass along. I mean, I guess basically what they look like because they don't know anything else.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you kind of explain the physicality of the individual. I mean, basically, as Dom and Ned, give me a, we'll call it an intelligence check to see if you recall any figure that looks like this.
I'm a little bit worried this is the figure in the locket, but I don't think that they had white hair.
Five.
5? No.
5 plus 1's the 6. Hey.
Sen just looks at the two of you and just like sighs heavily and then writes in the
Blank
book
stare.
MOR-IN. Specifically for those wanting to see that written out, that
Morin. Like Jakix Morin?
he shakes his head no and looks over at Eider.
Different Morin.
No, he liked the fact that I sent Jakix to Abaddon,
Mm.
and said he returned or was returning Sin as a reward.
Sen nods at that vigorously and then points at his tongue.
The fact that this person knows you did that, knew of Sen and to bring them back, and has managed to prevent Sen from ever growing their tongue back, probably implies this person is the same, if not a bigger threat than Jakix Martin. Whether or not they would harm us, I don't know. But this is not our track record with these things. This does not bode well.
Sen writes down, they ripped me out of my home while I was surrounded by other trolls.
Yeah,
Wait,
seems
Wait, so
more
he's the
like
one that kidnapped you?
Sen nods up and down vigorously.
if he claimed to rescue Sen, he never claimed rescued from what. I assume this was
Sin is
either
shit right next to
a
Jakix.
way to get in with us, or this was a show of force in the least threatening way.
The motherfucker better not appear next to me, I swear to God. Right next to Jakix.
There's a way to help you home, Sen. We might be able to assist, but I don't know if we have
Sen
a way to
writes
send you
down,
that far.
immediately at that, it kind of like puts down, no home to go back to without tongue.
Hmm.
I just
Well-
look very sadly at my friend who's been mutilated horribly.
Mm-hmm.
I walk it down into the hold of the airship and bring out the painting supplies that I've kept from Sin this entire time.
As
Oh.
Eider starts to head down, kind of as he heads down the ladder, you see as Sen quickly writes in the book and looks over at you, Dom and Ned, and you see it reads, "I was building a new home for the remaining trolls. There was no other possible leader. I have no idea if they're okay."
Hmm. I mean, I'm not the best with magic or magical crafting. There might be a way to let you communicate through an item, perhaps telepathically even, but I would not know where to help you get such a thing.
You see Sen writes down, slaughter if I go back.
Mm. The figure will kill your people, or your people will just be displeased?
He shrugs.
Well, I suppose in the meantime, if you want to do work, we would not be opposed to have you on board, but I do not think we can cure you of this, I'm afraid. If you went back to Knighton or even the capital, I could give good word to Utham that you were helpful, and he might be able to help provide work to you there.
He writes down death to the Morans. and underlines death multiple times and just looks at you with a serious glance as Eider kind of comes walking up with a bit of trying to be happy about this, with the art supplies, trying to, show him that, it's not all bad. Wrong kind of time as he comes up trying to like be excited about the art supplies he still got left over. As Sen just looks over, Eider, you can see death written and more in next to it. As Sen kind of looks over at you.
I just give him like a nod, like not even like the slightest bit of like argument there, and say, absolutely.
He nods and taking the art supplies from you, kind of catching what you mean, and grabs them and starts heading down below deck, not saying a word, mostly because he can't. As he quietly disappears within the ship, and Bar just kind of just looks at you all and goes, "Oh, that's enlightening. So where are we going?"
Well, Dom, is it far enough? We need the airship. I was just honestly showing people Sen was back, and then that turned.
I was just about to ask that. DM, I mean, I don't think it was far enough to need the airship because Dom
It took you
went
about
there
a week
himself,
to get there.
right?
Yeah, it took you a week to get you there and back. So, I mean, you were going at top speed, though, so keeping that in mind. It's not going to be fun for your party mates to keep up with you.
Well, I was able to do the trip about a week, but I did not rest much, and he gestures to his lack of armor, to his general monkness, much more efficient at that travel than you are. We could go to the airship, but it would be wise to land it out of eye shot, a good distance away. The cultists do have magic and see us coming. If they don't hide anything of use and simply lie through their teeth, then they will ready arms against us. That's also true, yeah.
Oh, lead on. The airship it is.
I heard
that was a massive pain in the ass.
Alright, Dom will sketch like a very quick map with his calligraphy and just like show that to Bardris's direction.
Bardris nods and goes, "And you want me to get Kesnanok, or do you want me to leave him behind?"
Oh yeah, you should put him in the sack.
You want me to put him in the sack? Alright, I got you. Say less as he turns and starts heading for the ship. We're gonna make money tonight, as he smiles at that.
I was kidding.
Oh, okay. He stops and kind of like looks, goes, "In all seriousness, if we can pick up Kez and hit this place within a day, be back before the end of the same day, it shouldn't be a problem. However, I must mention this is under a massive line of arcane energy that falls in line with another one. Might be something worth looking into."
Another fucking ritual?
No, by no means. That's a natural habit, thing. There are certain areas in the world that arcane energies seem to just naturally source around. Here is one. There's one north of Velkomen, about a few days' journey. That is said to be a pretty prominent village of casters who are protected by earth elementals. There's the Mana's Grove is the most prominent one, as it has a ton of death ore kind of surrounding it that feeds off the stuff.
I mean, they're on a natural ley line. There are powerful undead in the area. They are quite literally cultists, and they are importing extreme amounts of ink and papyrus. If there isn't a ritual there already, they are most likely conducting one.
He nods at that and goes, "Oh, that's what you meant. Oh yeah, definitely."
Yes, so we should be cautious. Again, I'm not so sure unless the opportunity presents itself to just charge in and interrupt. I would like to pick one off and get as much information as we can to further act.
And I recommend...
If we can disrupt the ritual while we're there, wonderful. But I know the last time we did that, we both exploded.
Oh, we'll have to... Bar just kind of nods and goes, "Well, then we'll have to park about a little ways away from the location. The airship will be too noticeable otherwise. Honestly, at this distance, it might be best for you lot just to go by foot."
I mean we still have the wolf in the cart, don't we? Out of
Yep, you
character, I
still
think
have the
it's been
wolf in
on
the
the
wagon.
airship.
Yep.
Yeah,
The
we
wagon
could
is
take
the
the
wolf is
wagon.
currently staying in the church, kind of as a guard dog for the church when you guys are away
Yes.
from Kaz.
Have we considered having the goslings pull the cart? Maybe they'd be quicker. Are they big enough for that yet?
Well, they're not gonna. They're undead. They're not gonna grow in theory.
But are they like magically powerful? No.
That's for Ned.
When we go
That's
back-
for Ned to be answering, not for me.
When we go back to get Kez, we can get our faithful wolf and head off in a quieter way. I would, however, worry about getting ambushed by those giants on the road. I was alone and quite stealthy, but a wagon of us, maybe not so much. Do you have a way to quickly notify you if something were to go wrong, Bartress?
He kind of looks at you and goes, "No, but I'll know."
If you know, then that's that. Kind of just seems to buy it. Man's immensely magical.
Nope. Let's get this crappy journey on the way.
He nods, and as you guys kind of turn and start heading back towards the church to pick up Kez. As you lot head that way, we're gonna end the session there with us picking up with you lot heading out of town and going towards the village itself. We thank you all for watching as this party heads off to go see if Kez has been once again kidnapped or not, or if he's caused a new god war in the background. And we hope you all will join us for the next time when they get the answer to this. Or if Eider truly is going to be the one that's going to cause another great magical catastrophe. We will see you all next time.